foreign policy is. Today is our anti-war rally, and the first premise that we function under is that all wars are bankers' wars. That's behind every war, there's somebody pulling the strings back in both sides. And this particular situation in Iraq is no different. Same old pattern, just like Vietnam. Our government comes in and funds the opposite side and then begins to negotiate with the original side that we installed, i.e. Maliki's government, and soon to be Abu Dhabi's government. And then we go on down that merry way of making sure that Abu Dhabi doesn't control his entire government because he's got opposition. So Abu Dhabi can't go yabba dabba doo. He has to walk around and control his population in lieu of RCI-trained ISIS forces, which we ourselves will not admit that we're funding. It's all very, very true. Yeah, true on that. Okay, so that's politics, aka the Flintstones.
So 8976 read intelligence papers directing ISIS in a connection to the Saudis.
Yeah.
Just like in Syria.
Intelligence papers are all generated out of the CIA headquarters, so let's assume that they're just spinning the story that they've got their tendrils all over the place, making the general public in America concerned that, gee, there's terrorism is on the rise again, we better start another war. It's a no-brainer for the average American, gee, we better fight it over there. So we mindlessly support the hierarchy of hegemony, our power over other nations,
what about
constantly.
The idea of letting them fight it out?
Exactly, and that's a much more realistic solution because, frankly, they wouldn't have Laws rockets, heat-seeking SAM missiles, and all the things that we've given all these terrorists over the years. They wouldn't have those if we hadn't gone in and interfered and sold high-end weapons to these people. So we've raised the ante on these conventional wars. Our country has, simply by engaging, giving them secret weapons on the side, and then having it.
We decide to support.
Right. We did it with the Mujahideen, and look what they turned into.
And then the other side that we don't support, if they capture the people we're supporting, they'll take the weapons.
Right. They'll take and they'll be another enemy.
We gave to them.
Well, Saudi Arabia can backstab us in plain sight. They've done it for years. They've got a very strong economic hold over us. Whenever we need oil, they say, how much do you need? And they make it up. And they offset any Gulf Coast restrictions on oil shipments. So we always have a steady supply. And you can tell that Saudi Arabia has been using us, but it's more of a we're using them, they're using us relationship. But we don't want it to get out of hand. And I can tell you that we're not going to just bend over and just give everything away. We're not giving away the entire nation to Dubai so they can build even nicer hotels. Our president has condoned the actions of the foreign minister of Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Look at Barack Obama bent down and kissed the ring finger of King Abdullah. I mean, I've been talking about Obama's lack of clarity in relation to potential allies and enemies for years. You guys who are finally catching up to speed are realizing, wow, we've got a problem. You elected a president that just lies to you, that doesn't come up with any new ideas, and isn't in any way able to grasp the importance of détente. He seems to be blowing it all over the place. And we are the biggest oil producer now. Yeah. We've got a tremendous amount of oil still. Even if we cracked for the next 50 years, we'd still have more oil than most countries. So the idea of peak oil has been kind of pushed aside. We really do have a tremendous amount of oil. They just discovered $1.6 trillion worth of oil off the coast of Florida. And they were looking for 10 years to find it, and they found this vein of oil, and it's going to profit Shell Oil Company for the next 10 years, and our country will make something. But we need to position ourselves to make something, especially benefit from the low-cost oil. I don't want to see the price of gas go over $4 a gallon, and already in California now, with Jerry Brown implementing a $1 a gallon tax, or $1.10, I think he's implementing, Californians are going to be paying $5 per. Excellent, unwanted man. I'm sure that's in the vein of Joan Rivers' humor, so I accept that as a funny thing to say. I'm sure Joan would be cracking a joke right now if she could. Of course. We've always known that Saudi Arabia is fully controlled by the United Kingdom, except for the fact that King Abdullah doesn't see it that way. And neither do his Islamic advisors and cousins and nephews. They all are beginning to see what they perceive to be a jihad in the region. And I am not here to support a mindless raid on any one country like Obama's doing. He wants to do surgical strikes in Syria. Somebody told him you can do surgical strikes, and well, let's be clear. I'm going to do surgical strikes all over the place.
So EU is going to have more Russian sanctions if the war in the Ukraine worsens.
Yeah, well, that's to be expected. EU started it. They offered Ukraine $35 billion in aid, created the revolution in Ukraine, literally. So if they're vowing more Russia sanctions, they're just stepping all over Russia, and they're literally the cause of this problem. Well, King Abdullah and the jihadists don't see it that way. So we've got a serious rift within our relationship with the Middle East. It's always been there. But we can work around it.
In Pakistan, there are two different opposition groups that are calling for the resignation of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, and they've had some clashes with police during their protests. I wonder when their election's coming up.
You know, nothing is surgical once you telegraph what you're going to do. And Obama had 2 months where he didn't need to telegraph he was going to make surgical strikes. Now that he's telegraphed what he's going to do, he doesn't have those 2 months to spare. And now it's highly unlikely surgical strikes will occur because these people are not stupid. They're going to embed themselves with children and women. I hear Obama has no plan, Mikey. I mean, you guys voted for this guy. He hasn't had a plan for 6 years. Why is it we have to keep talking about this when we really need to think about détente? Let's start talking about détente.
For Obama, because many people that come in here didn't.
Oh, they didn't vote for him?
No, they.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And they're looking for someone else.
Well.
So I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't Americans that did vote for him, but like Mikey says, I didn't vote for him, so don't say Mikey. You people voted for him because he's not one of them.
I'm sorry, Mikey, and all the others didn't vote for Barack Obama.
Actually, I'm glad.
Plan, yeah.
Not sorry for you, but
you voted for David Cameron. Okay. You're British. Okay. Well, you guys want a plan. I'll give you a plan. Okay, no problem. We believe that communication is central to solving world conflict, but more importantly, we need to see water in the region, and then food, opportunity, economics. This applies to Hamas and the emerging Palestinian state in Gaza. This applies to every country in the Middle East. They need food, water, food. That's a priority. So building that is the building block to what many believe is turning out to be armed humanitarianism. A book I read recently by Nathan Hodges, in which he focuses on the anthropology of the region and focusing on the needs of the indigenous people, not just going in and drinking tea with a bunch of Afghan soldiers and saying, yeah, okay, we're going to protect your village, but when we're gone, you can go ahead and sell out. You know, that basically, we're only good as long as we can give them something. So they need to develop their own economy, and we need to help them. But we don't need to have boots in the ground to do that necessarily. You'll never vote? Okay. Well, the immigration problem around the world now is descending. Countries like Sweden, they're 10 years away from chaos. Socialist nations are going to cave in to this immigration takedown. And essentially the immigration problem across the globe among Western nations is being artificially created by the World Bank and the IMF. They literally are forcing world leaders to accept the spread of massive amounts of illegal aliens in every country. The net effect is no one nation is strong enough to stop this world power. So they've effectively used it as almost a toggle power switch to control the power of a nation. They can weaken a nation by opening the borders, as Obama has done recently, and now Chuck Hagel has said that ISIS is in America, which is the most improper thing to say to the American people, especially if it's not true.
Speaking of which, Hammer 37 over at Battle Camp says with September 11th coming up soon, do you think that ISIS will strike either in the U.S. or overseas?
You know, I believe that ISIS is just a front group for a very nefarious undercover operation. Now, that's a very big statement I just made. But when you look at the emergence of this ISIS thing, and they did it across the globe with propaganda and discussing the caliphate that is somehow going on. They wrote a few stories about it, they gave some background, but it all popped up in all the news channels like CNN, which in a way is the CIA news channel. And you don't really know for sure if any of these stories vet out because no one does any further research and verification. And I find it absolutely preposterous to think that any group is that organized to do anything even remotely close to the World Trade Center attack, unless, of course, they're affiliated with central intelligence organizations around the world. So I have the biggest concern of all is that we have a problem within our own nation, that this urge for war is merely a manipulation for other more powerful monetary interests to turn our nation into the police force. So whenever you feel the urge for war, you know something's wrong. There's no need for war. War is obsolete. We need to realize how obsolete it is. When a bumbling idiot continues to threaten with sanctions and attack Russia and verbally accuse Putin of this and that, he's wafting the flame of war. And why he's doing that, no one knows, other than the end game being destruction of the human race. No one really knows. Putin responded by saying, beware, we are a nuclear power and we will use nukes. So these people who are running the world, the monetary system, actually believe that they can engage in low-intensity conflict. That was the expression that Henry Kissinger coined in 1975, low-intensity conflict. That they could engage in conventional wars all around the world and continue to roll on with more weapons, more economic support for their own cronies, and then, worst of all, they can erase a massive amount of debt at the same time. So when banks reach huge credit overages, they need something to cover their losses, and the one thing they've gone to over the years is starting wars. That's the real thing behind war. Wars are created by bankers. I do think that the James Foley execution was faked. Actually, Irish roots. There was no blood in the video. We're on JustCast, yeah. Hey, thank you, 1PC guy, Doc. Excellent.
There is some good news when we were talking about ISIS. There were, if you had been following it, there's 32 Filipinos that were being held or surrounded by the ISIS troops. All of those have been extricated. All of those people are now safe, all of the Filipino personnel.
Well, good.
However, there are currently 40 people, UN workers, that are still, they're 44 UN peacekeepers from Fiji that are surrounded right now in what's called Position 68. So there are 200 militants have assembled around Position 68 in the last few hours.
Right.
And 40 Philippine peacekeepers are trapped there.
My goodness.
And then as they were speaking, there were more than 20 vehicles approaching ISIS vehicles approaching, reinforcing that position around Position 68, which is a UN, it's in the Golan Heights, and it's basically on the Syrian-Israeli border.
Right.
And it was kind of like
it's a definite spike zone for conflict. You know, the worst possible scenario is for us to engage in a conventional war with Syria. And both John McCain and John Kerry have both encouraged that idea. Well, we would send in drones regardless for all kinds of navigation, photographs, ideas. We have to look at the position of troops. So drones are necessary no matter what. And if we lose them in the process, so what? We have to keep doing this. We realize the importance of drones, and I've even talked about the buildup of more automated drone technology at a lower cost. We had a drone fly over us last night at the Oak Harbor Music Festival. We were out, after the show, we went out to the Oak Harbor Music Festival and watched a great band called the Beatniks.
They were a great band.
They were awesome. They're on the beatniks.com.
Music tonight.
Yeah,
that was X Factor.
Oh, the X Factor guy, really?
One of them.
One of them. Interesting. Anyway, we went over there and we saw a drone flying over our head, and I was telling Sarah.
It was kind of a little weird.
It was weird. Even the guys in the band were saying, "What's this thing up here? You know, this is weird." It was running around taking photographs, but I don't support drone technology used domestically. I don't support these things flying over our heads. I believe they pose a huge danger. And I was telling Sarah that that drone could be armed with plastic explosive. We may not even know what's going on. It could take out everybody in this entire area, this open area. It's seriously dangerous to see a drone flying over your head. So we're entering a new time where we have to use drones, at least for our purposes around the globe, but in populated areas, I don't think it's a good idea. Russia has nukes. Yes, Ukraine possibly has nukes as well. The whole thing is a nightmare. When Tymoshenko, the female that was running for office for the presidency in Ukraine, was angry that she was jailed for 2 years, she actually said she was going to nuke Russia if she was president. So the possibility of Ukraine having nukes is very, very great. You can't be president? You're too detached from reality? You don't even understand the commonality? No, that's not true, WSFM. Well, I've been living as a common man all my life, so I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not a politician per se. I don't understand what your question is because it's irrelevant. I'm definitely a man of the people, and I know how you guys are living, and I know the situation we're under right now with lack of jobs. I know how completely devoid from reality Barack Obama is. If anything, I know exactly how you feel. Rodney, we've got a thing called Kills. It's a paint that you put on. There's two different varieties. One is called Kills Latex, and it does a good job, and we should be able to cover all the White House walls to get the smell of the Newport cigarettes down once I take office in 2017.
It's really great paint, super thick.
Yeah, I've used it on really bad nicotine-stained walls before, and it works great. Kills, that's right. Yeah, NATO definitely has something to do with Ukraine, France. The whole EU offer of $35 billion to Ukraine was reduced down to $17 billion when all was said and done, which was only a couple billion more than Russia offered, $15 billion. So had they just gone with Russia from the beginning, we never would have been having this discussion. But Obama and the EU and the World Bank and the IMF, they all got meddled in there and did something that would led to a powder keg, a potential problem for all of us. That's right. NATO has no right to enter Ukraine. That's right. You know, Anonymous, that's funny. Rick Larson's hairline doesn't exist, does it? But you're funny because Rick Larson's the local U.S. House Representative. I'm actually doing a write-in campaign to somehow affect his vote. But we'll see. He's been very ineffective and doesn't seem to understand the effect on nature. The environmental impact statement, which he never really made a comment on, and we made a comment on it, official comment. The environmental impact statement says that 27 million marine mammals will die in 5 years because of their testing, and he's done nothing to stop that. So he's a crony of the system. He basically doesn't say much. He just goes along and agrees with everything Patty Murray says or anybody else in the Congress says. Both from different branches, but they think alike. They're very much status quo. We've got a lot of status quo people in government right now. 2014 should be the end of a lot of incumbents, I'm hoping. He's a son of a bitch. Thank you. Finally, a person of the passion I have against Rick Larson. Yeah, he's really of no value. When approached by people about the jet flyovers in our area, he wouldn't even talk to them at local meetings. He won't even discuss issues regarding the dangers of these jets at 120 decibels over populated regions. He could care less. But please write my name in, David Sponheim, on the ballot. He did, well, not just Rick. There were a lot of people in the Democratic and Republican Party that probably stole my signs. I don't think becoming a NATO member is even possible right now. I think Putin is positioning himself to actually occupy Ukraine without even blinking an eye. Right now he's sending troops in and claiming he's not.
Thanks, PC Doc. I'm sorry I don't chat over there, but I mean I do broadcast over there. But the reason I don't chat over there is because my computer freezes. But maybe I should try chatting over there.
I agree 100%. He is. He's been doing the bidding of the military-industrial complex. He doesn't want to answer to the people that are complaining about the dangers to the environment. My signs are pretty cool. Let me go get you one of them. I'll show you what the local signs read.
I don't think anybody's going to invade Estonia. I was just reading there, continuing, hundreds of people were marching today in Ferguson, Missouri, calling for justice.
Well, that's good. We do need some accountability in Ferguson. We'll address that tonight. We'll talk about Ferguson some. Yeah, these are fairly big signs. Stop Larson, Save Nature. Write in David Sponheim for a U.S. House. That's the sign that we're using. And I've got a bunch of these going out all the way up to November, and I've been making these myself, so it's kind of a cool thing. And then I've got black and whites that I can make these for 33 cents. As long as you get the cardboard from recycled centers. I make my own cardboard backs. I just use standard tape. I get duct tape. I get it Walmart for $1. But
you can download and print them out yourself. I'll give you guys the link.
Yeah, you guys in the area can download and print them out yourself for 33 cents. They can if you send the file over to your Office Depot, they'll print them out on cardstock, 11 by 17, for 33 cents. I can't get a sign cheaper. I had to go for cheaper signs because all of my signs were tacked.
Don't do that one.
Don't do that one. There's no Spinheim out there. Oh, you cleared chat. Wow. I know I need billboards. You need to make donations to me. If you want to donate, go to America's Third Party.
This money should be used for billboards.
Just make a donation, and I'll put it toward a billboard. We did a lot during the primary in going for the State House race, but you know we could only do as much as we could for the State House, and then they literally took most of my signs, and the big ones were stolen within a day of going up, which really cost us the third position.
You can donate up to $5,000. When you click on the first picture that pops up, you can print out that sign.
Yeah, if you want to go to my site, davidsponheim.com.
Or you can scroll down and print it out that way too.
Yeah, let me just give everybody a tour of the site. We're online right now. You can see it. I'll put my hand out here, and you'll see it pop up in just a second. See?
Yeah, so you can see it.
So we're online here.
You can always watch our video on that site, yeah.
Reduce jet noise, increase Navy jobs. I've got an idea to actually pitch the Pentagon on UAV production here on the island. Pro-legalization, pro-hempoline. But, yeah, the signs talk about future innovations, but you can print the poster right here by clicking this campaign poster. And it'll take you to the poster page. We'd have all kinds of cool ideas for the future for America, but this is the poster, and it's a write-in poster. And you can print it out in color for it. You click on the poster, and it'll open up a separate page. You can copy it to your hard drive. It is literally $1.33 if you print the color on cardstock, 11 by 17, and it's 33 cents if you print the black and white. Thank you. David, did you get off the island? Yeah, we get off the island fairly often. I heard that she's in a medically induced coma, Aristotle. I do think it has a lot to do with her comments. You want to come into the show a little bit? There you go. I do think it has a lot to do with her comments. The comments that appeared in the media recently. I do. I have a copy of the comments we're referring to. referring to her, I don't want to ever use a nuclear weapon. Let's put it that way. Would I ever? Of course, any president would have to deploy a nuclear weapon if we're attacked directly. But I don't want to use one.
Way, way, way back, like David's great ancestors may have been German.
They were German. What do you mean may have been German?
Well, then they went to Norway and then they went to U.S.
Yeah.
You made it son of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a?
Wasn't your dad born in the U.S.? You were
Of course, my dad was born in the U.S.
And you were born in the U.S.
Yeah. I can't believe we're having this conversation.
I know.
Yeah. Is this? What is the audio stream on this over here? Do you know what audio stream it pulls from this mic?
The microphone.
That microphone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, she said what? Transgender people. Oh my gosh.
Look at this. Okay. That may very well be one of her last roles in life. I think you're off the deep end, WSFM. She's funny, yeah, but she wasn't being funny. She was really serious. Well, we don't know. Whenever we saw the video of her saying that a couple weeks ago, Sarah and I looked at each other and went, yeah, she's not long for this world. She really believes that Michael or Michelle, formerly Michael Robinson, is a transgender, and she really said it in front of the American people.
She said it's okay.
No, I don't.
Everybody just needs to relax.
She's a comedian, yeah. She just said it's okay, just relax, it's okay. She's a big American celebrity, Lord Wilson. Yeah, that's Joan Rivers, formerly a woman who was known for her humor dates back to the early days of comedy and TV.
David has done nothing wrong, WSFM.
I've done nothing wrong.
So there's no legal grounds, no legal standing.
I've never hurt a fly. We've got pictures of the Iraq situation we can bring into the show today.
Hi, Tabasco sauce.
We'll take a look at Iraq and the ISIS plans and how we can intercept their takedown of the installed government, Iraqi government that we have there.
You believe that the president's job is to create jobs?
I agree. I think the government is responsible for creating jobs. This is where I differ from Barack Obama on many different levels. I have a picture of Joan, I believe, before her makeup was added.
I saw it somewhere, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't have it right now. It doesn't matter. I don't want to talk negatively about a woman who's struggling to stay alive. Well, she's never been D-list. No, she's top rank. She's one of the greatest comedians of our time. Lucille Ball would be ahead of her. Yeah, it is kind of sad. And it's not the first time surgery and vocal cords could go bad. We remember the lawsuit that
Hi, Mad Dog.
That the lady who played The Sound of Music. Remember the lady that played The Sound of Music? She had vocal cord surgery, Julie Andrews, and her vocal cords basically landed her, I think, of $7 million or $14 million, something like that, because they couldn't explain why they broke her vocal cords. She couldn't sing again. So it cost a lot in lost wages for her. But in the case of Joan Rivers, she's going to lose a lot by dying, God forbid. But yeah, I want her to get better. I'm praying for her. I don't know if any of you are religious people, but you can certainly try praying. Sarah is younger than our next president. Yes, Sarah's 36. I'm 54. So this is a map of the ISIL forces in Iraq over the many years. And one of the things that I'd like to do as a solution in this region is to get the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to work outside of the war zone, per se, and develop a railway system. And I'm going to show you where I think it should be. From Basra all the way up virtual railway system could be built right here. And it would provide direct shipment routes of oil out of the country and food supplies and lumber and all kinds of solutions to the problem in the country. I believe that we could develop some safe zones, some weapons-free safe zones in areas that are not conflict zones, right out here and right out here. I'm envisioning 2 weapons-free safe zones, one outside of North Baghdad, near the oil wells, where I'm currently filling in the region, and one over here, below Mosul and Tikrit. And these are weapons-free safe zone ideas that I put on our website 6 years ago. I had a plan for Iraq, and that plan is yet to be fulfilled. I am not a reptilian. I can dream on all I want, but the Army Corps of Engineers could do this within 6 weeks. Well, there's an idea of doing that. It's a walk in the cake. Yeah. Or the possibility of a tri-state government. This is something that Joe Biden was talking about. Now, if something were to happen to our president in the next year and a half, Joe Biden would take over the role of president. And he would then probably want to make an immediate nomination or appointment of a vice president. And I would recommend he choose me, because I could work with Joe Biden on developing a tri-state solution in Iraq. I really do support that. In fact, I was one of the few people that actually chatted on Joe Biden's website back in 2007. I blogged on it. No, I didn't say that. I never threatened anybody. I said if something were to happen to him, God forbid, Joe Biden would take over. And I would certainly welcome the idea of a tri-state government. Yeah, I would never, ever threaten our president, despite the fact that I think he's a liar. That's right. Welcome. Hi. NSA's here under the name of Shebang. Hi, NSA. Well, it's not messing with other people's land. I'm trying to help be a steward of the land. I'm helping to provide solutions for Iraq. I'm trying to provide answers. You see, I'm one of the people that want to make things better, not one of the people that want to just profit. Corporations want to profit. If I were an oil company, I'd probably say, oh yeah, let's build a rail line and profit. But that's an ancillary benefit to building a rail line. A rail line which is automated and has defendable barriers would provide Iraq a tremendous source of revenue, and it would help pay back their debt to us and begin forging an alliance with the government instead of letting them fall into the hands of the Iranian government. My policy toward Native Americans is very simple. I would like them to have a common place that they could call their own, somewhere in America. I'm thinking of some federal property in South Dakota, or possibly in Wyoming or something. A gathering place for all Native Americans to live in peace with each other as a ceremonial safe haven. Maybe Oklahoma, sure. Preferably Antarctica, you say.
Okay, take care, Jimmy.
Okay. Manhattan can't be returned to the Indians. There's too much property value there. I have to laugh. So war is obsolete. Keep saying that to yourself over and over again, and you'll believe it. Because the more you think about it, with nuclear weapons and mutual assured destruction, MAD, the theory that all of us have parity around the world, the big superpowers are equal, it would more than keep a fairly logical country under control, knowing that they can't press on a nuclear power like Russia. But Barack Obama is not a logical person, and nor are his handlers. They have an ulterior motive. Deep down, they want to take down Putin. He stands as an obstacle to their global domination. Not really. He's invoking MAD right now. It's a walk in the cake. Vladimir Putin is actually invoking mutually assured destruction by saying, you don't mess with us, we are nuclear power ready to go. He's basically saying, back off, way off. And that's what MAD does. You see, Obama and his handlers don't seem to understand that. Simple things like, we have nuclear weapons that can annihilate the world, back the hell off. Obama doesn't get that. They think they can push the envelope on conventional weaponry. And this in itself is the problem. They think they can get away with small, low-intensity conflict. All right, so that's kind of my take on the wars as they've evolved over the years, and how to stop them really means solving problems for the people. Aristotle, number one, we're not cheating. Yeah, we're not cheating, and we didn't anticipate the Democrats and Republicans to cheat in the primaries, so we underestimated their corruption. But I ran in the primary to see and test the waters, basically, and I found out how corrupt these two parties are. So now we're doing something much, much different. Well, I'm not broke, but I will be broke in St. Obama's coming up on the 31st. So we'll make no mistake about it. We're going to be doing a really amazing video where I will be involved. I'm looking for that Michelle face mask. I think I need to get a Michelle face mask again. Somebody handed one to me and I gave it away, and I need to get it back because we need to get Michelle in the entire thing. David, I'm not broke.
I'm glad to hear that, crazy kid gamer.
Yeah, I never intended to be cheated out of a primary, though. That was what I really didn't like. Well, MCR, cheating is not part of my plan for America. I don't need a day job. I retired at the age of 50 with enough savings to survive the rest of my life, especially at the rate I spend money. Well, Sarah won't be in the video, Pamela. Sarah will not be at this location on October 31st that I know of. Yeah. And she doesn't endorse anything that I did. Well, I know I've been cheated because they stole most of my signs early in the whole process. I had to constantly make signs. I mean, I got so good at making signs, I could pop one of these things out in less than 2 minutes. So I can pop virtually a sign out in less than 2 minutes. You could print it out for 33 cents at Office Max on cardstock and put a little cardboard behind it with some tape on the side. I don't need donations. If you guys want to donate to a third party, bring it. It'll help get this message out there. We need every help we can get. The American people don't have a lobbying group. I might remind you. We don't have any power in government. I can't help you even if you are touching yourself remotely. Meow TV, it's a litmus test. You've run for office, haven't you? You know how horrible it is to be deformed and have radiated testicles and have people laugh at you in public. So yeah, I'm not here to make light of your struggle, but I can tell you that running for office, expecting fairness, is really what I've always believed in. That's maybe my naivete running as an honest person in American politics today, but I think it's my asset too. He ran for mayor of Lyon. He was a member of Kermindex. Really, you guys are big Meow followers. I haven't gotten over it. I doubt I'll ever get over it. I'm thinking of just simply running every single election regardless. I'm putting my name into almost every election. I think the 2016 election I'm going to run directly against Rick Larson. I do know who you are. Your guest 138979437. What's happening?
I'm just reading about this 15-year-old who has been convicted of domestic terrorism, the first person to be convicted of domestic terrorism.
Yeah.
He is sentenced for 25 years to life in federal prison for swatting. He was a live gamer.
Oh, and he swatted people.
He was upset that he got beat in the game, and he swatted his rival gamers.
He should spend 25 years in jail.
In one incident, the people came in to a rival gamers. The police came in and actually shot the father of the gamer.
Oh my God, really? His father got shot?
Not this kid's father,
Some
but
other kid
yeah,
shot.
the one he called.
So he led to the was he dead, the father?
No, but
Still
he
living?
he was definitely injured.
This is what happens, folks. This is what happens. See what happens when you engage in bad. It is insane. This guy engaged in some pretty bad activity.
Yeah, well now I would say, Crazy Kid Gamer, I would hope that this message goes out to those people that are on, that are on Twitch and are swatting.
We already have had an encounter already. Unfortunately.
Well, sometimes, Sulan, you have to send a message to people.
Well, he engaged in
is it a hoax?
A threat.
Wait, this one, I guess, says it's not real.
Oh, it's a national report.
Oh, this is not real?
No, that's not a real site.
So let's see.
Let's see if this is a real story. Vote for Ross Perot? Well, maybe there's no case here. This is all just nonsense.
This is probably not real.
No, Aristotle, actually the signs made a big difference. I took a larger percentage in the area that I could put signs up in my local area. The study that we did, analysis of the election, showed that had signs been up in the areas that I put the signs up in, the large signs that were taken down within a day, that we would have had the edge to take second position. And all the studies that I've done on politics, the importance of signage, has shown the same result. We lost by probably a margin of 30 to 40%, which could have been made up with signs. Well, it's a shame, but
yeah, I think it's not real.
I'm not really concerned because Meow TV is making a big issue about it. Like I'm making an issue about it. I'm only talking about it because I need to move on. I need to keep pushing my name out there. I've already got equity in my name. People have seen it. I never voted for Obama, ever. I started America's Third Party with the intent to not have Barack Obama as our president. I've been the person from the very beginning trying to save this nation. My 2008 video that I made, Broke Insane Obamas, was a very strong attempt to parody what I believe is a very bad president, a lying president. And I've done everything I could as an American, as a patriotic American, to help the American people realize we've got a big problem here. So yeah, I've been fighting for 6 years to build this party. So don't think for a second I would have voted for him. It's very bad indeed, I know. Well, that's okay. I'm not here to, cry over spilled milk. I'm willing to move on, and that's why I'm running with signs like this. I don't give up. We've got over 50 signs going in the area on all the overpasses. So if people want to write my name in against Larson, they can. I never give up. I'm a person who will fight till the bitter end, especially when I'm dealing with corruption. I'm a very fair and honest person, and I do not take this crap sitting sitting down, just blowing it off like Meow TV is. I don't have the comfort of sitting around and saying, oh yeah, well, the world's corrupt, I give up.
Well, these ISIS people, they're selling women.
I'm punting on the teeth. Yeah, they're selling women. Well, ISIS, you're talking about a group of people that will sell women, children, train killers. You're talking about a group of militants and ultimately mercenaries working for the CIA. A recent attack on ISIS in Syria unveiled an American that obviously was a CIA operative working right there with them. So they can't ignore the facts that are right in front of us. The Americans are embedding with the ISIS troops, these CIA mercenaries. The world is corrupt. I'm not just going to sit back and not change it. I'm driven by principle, not by greed. And this entire effort has not been a profit-seeking effort for me. I've been trying by principle to stop what apparently is a severe evil that has descended upon this great nation. The power of corruption, the power of money, buying politics, buying politicians, controlling the destiny of this nation is exactly what I'm up against. Yeah, ISOS is the new one, yeah. I wouldn't doubt ISASOS is going to be the next one they're going to create. No, I have not seen anybody's selfie. Aristotle believes it's insane, sadistic Islamic soldiers. It's anachronism. Interesting. Well, 402, I don't lose. I haven't lost at all. In fact, I'm beginning to win. I am just starting. That whole election was a drop in the bucket with $420.06 plus 500 in TV commercials and another 200 or 300 in signage. That's nothing. I got my name out there, big time. People know who I am in this area now. It was a success from my perspective. But we're not stopping there. Like I said, I'm going to probably run on the ballot against Rick Larson coming up in 2016 here in the state of Washington. While I run a write-in campaign across the nation, I can still run for president in every other state. Washington has a rule where I can't run for president and another public office, so I'm going to run for U.S. House of Representatives in Washington just to stand up to this guy. We don't need corrupt politicians anymore. We've got too many of these people. We need a brand new wave of new politicians that are honest and dedicated to what this country really needs. Control of the budget, cutting of waste, and building new American jobs and American products. I am taller than him. It's not talk, dude. I've already delivered. I've already delivered an election. I ran in the primary on the ballot. I'm not talking here. This is all real. Well, we're going to produce way more signs, and I'm probably going to buy billboard advertisement for 2016. A lot of people know me, believe me. This area, they look at me everywhere I go now. I know how many people know me. Wherever I go, people look, and there goes David Jingleheimer Sponheim. There goes David John Speinheimer Schmidt. All right, let's talk about how we can build this country up and get our troops home, okay? Well, no, I'm not planning on campaigning nationwide. I am campaigning nationwide right now. I don't have any problems with people. People are shocked by me. I think they're a little frightened, frankly. I get that look of fear. I'm an imposing person. I'll be Frank. No, I'll be David. Yeah, they look a little frightened, like they don't know what to expect from me. I'm a little bit imposing. I mean, what can I say? I'm trying to help them, I know. When people they see somebody and they don't know what to think, they immediately go to name calling. I do I support gay rights. I support the lesbian, bi, transgender, gay, LGBT community insofar as I don't want discrimination going. Okay. I'm 6'4" and I weigh about 220. Well, I don't like to play up the martial artist thing. That's really not. I'm not trying to, you know. I don't go around kicking butt, if that's what you're asking me. No, I don't lie. I'm 6'4" and 220. Okay, I'll tell you a joke. Your life. You're 6'6"? Okay. Okay. Any other jokes that I could tell you? That was a quick one. Okay. DT Laura has the right to be upset. She's been verbally accused, chat attacked in our show. Well, I wouldn't doubt it. You know, Germany is set to get rid of all nuclear plants. Fessenheim is one of the many nuclear plants slated for decommission. I've talked to many Germans who are equally in this agreement that Angela Merkel must completely get rid of the nuclear program. Oh, come on. This Nazi comes in here and calls me names every night. I don't know, but Topper Dan, we don't want to bring up bad things. It could be like post-traumatic chat disorder, PTCD. There are a lot of people suffering from PTCD right now, and I'm not kidding. I've had 6 years of chat, and so far I'm not suffering from PTCD. Yeah, that was 8 years ago, but the politics totally changed since the ecologists were fired from the government. Oh, they are rebuilding the nuclear plants now? Well, danke for you, Meow TV. As long as it's sensible German production of nuclear power, I'm okay with it. They have a thing called pebble reactor technology now. They can make meltdown-proof pebble reactors that literally use 4 grams of uranium in a cue ball and thousands of cue balls floating in liquid helium, and it produces enough energy to power up huge steam generators. It's awesome. I was born in the United States in Los Angeles, California. My name's David. I'm not a cop. Well, you can just say whatever you want. You're not going to stop the wave of pro-nuclear people. We need to steer them in the right direction and get rid of some of the spent fuel rods that are currently plaguing this great world that we're living in. I was anti-nuclear as a kid. I used to say nuclear is unclear. But now I'm beginning to realize we have a tremendous need for energy, and we need to make safe, meltdown-proof reactors. But we can't do that until we deal with the spent fuel rods that we currently have stored in all the old nuclear reactors built like Fukushima. There's 23 nuclear reactors in America with the identical design as Fukushima, with the same potential for breaches if there's a tsunami that hits them. We've got a serious problem in our country. There's one in New Jersey that's really in need of immediate repair. I was a Democrat, and I do support lesbian, gay, bi, transgender rights, but I don't hate Democrats. I feel sorry for them because they can't question their own leader. I'm not a Democrat anymore, no. I gave it one last stab, but I was trying to ingratiate the party, but they crapped all over me with feces. Isn't that what crap's made out of anyway, feces? Yeah, it's a GE design that's probably in need of major overhaul. We need to get some of those spent fuel rods and deal with them. That should be the real war, the war against the planet just erupting into a massive environmental toxic waste pool. Well, at this point, the Democrats that I encountered in my local election are cheaters. DJ Stingy, I've been putting up the signs. Today I put 2 or 3 signs up, big ones, strategic signs. Every weekend we put up new signs and go through the area and look to see if our signs are still up. I don't support banning porn, and I think it's absurd to think the government would try to ban it. It already started, Rodney. Toggle down, dude. This is the war rally, yeah. The anti-war rally. Behind me is a plan to create a railway system that would provide solutions for the people in Iraq, especially the people in populated regions like Baghdad. I am proposing a railway, this white line, running straight along the position, which is a safe area to build this, and then 2 weapons-free safe zones demarked by the white marks right here. There's one, and here's the other, where the arrows are pointing at. These weapons-free safe zones would provide safe haven for the population in the event of a disaster. They would also be areas where people would grow food. You would have no weapons whatsoever, and no explosives, and no fuel in these areas. All the vehicles would be running on renewable energy sources. Yeah. Please refrain from racial slurs in the show. Hi, Sunstar. And hello, Highbury. Welcome. Wow. Highbury's in the room.
Yes, Halloween.
I'm doing a video Halloween myself. Well, online dating pimp, you'll probably never be a pimp. So it's easy for me to say that to you. Poor guy, he's so frustrated. He's never had sex. That's what the word on the street is. He's never had sex. He's like completely. He's like that guy. Remember the guy who at the LA gym in Chicago that went ballistic? Right. You know, he never had sex and he just couldn't understand it. Okay, Iraq is a waste of time. The whole Middle East is a joke. They would never be democratic or under control. Okay, Meow TV, you just want to give up on one of the largest caches of oil in the world. I can tell you really have your head in the right place. I do think the government is hiding evidence about UFOs. I do. Oh, well, that's pretty sad. Yeah, I feel sorry for both the hooker and Alki David, but not that sorry. Are you sure he wasn't using some sort of a prosthesis? It's highly unlikely a person like that could possibly get aroused. Oh, I wouldn't doubt that. You guys seem to know a lot about this guy. I really don't want to make him the centerpiece of our show, if you know what I mean. I do think Barack Obama is a Muslim. I do. Sarah doesn't, but I do. You know, Sarah has never said a bad thing about Barack Obama once in 6 years. It's true. Yeah. Well, that's the whole point. Thank you. Did he say something bad? Said it you?
Yep.
Okay. Sarah has never said anything bad about Obama. I don't know if she likes him. She never voted for him.
No, I never voted for him.
But she's never said anything bad about Barack Obama in 6 years.
I try not to say anything bad about anyone.
I think it's amazing how you're able to do that. And hats off to you, because I have been a very outspoken verbal critic of Barack Obama since the beginning, but not once has she ever in any way said any negative things about Barack Obama. She did not film the blackface video, Rodney. I did. It's called a remote control. I added her voiceover later in post-editing.
I'm not a Muslim.
I use the remote control and do most of my videos by myself. Sarah's not even around. I've got a couple videos planned this week. They're going to be hilarious. You're going to love it. I've got a couple of videos posting. One that I made in 2008, right around the same time I did the Broken St. Obama's video. That's a parody on Democrats. And it's going to be hilarious. And then I'm going to follow with one just like it the next week. So I'm doing these by myself. I don't use anyone to make videos. I've got a remote control, Rod. I can zoom in and zoom out on my remote control. It's amazing. I don't normally watch porn videos, and I don't normally get aroused by it, things like that. Occasionally I'll be on an email and click a link talking about penis enlargement, and I'm unfortunately, privy to the GIF popping up in front of my face. I can't control it. I myself am not aroused by that. No, I'm not going to breakdance the new blackface video. I said it could be possible. I'm not lying when I say I did get emails claiming to have some sort of a need for that. I don't personally need that. In fact, I'd probably prefer it if it wasn't, But no, I got to tell you, I don't really talk about my previous. She didn't even call me a girlfriend or call me a boyfriend. That was somebody asked me who I dated before I met Sarah, and I said, well, I dated this Jamaican American woman. And then they went off on it. I've never said anything other than how it is. I am pro-choice, not pro-abortion. I'm against abortion. But I'm willing to accept that women have the choice to kill and murder their baby. Well, I can't answer that question rhetorically. Why don't I send you photographs? Send me your email address, and I'll send you all the photographs of me at that time. Thank you. Rodney, you're running with the idea, too. Yes, I dated a Jamaican American woman. She preferred to be called Jamaican American as opposed to African American. She was very prejudiced against African Americans. No, my Skype is not on. Right now, I'm just dealing with chat. I never acknowledged that I'm okay with it. I said I'm personally against abortion. I acknowledge that a woman has the right to choose if she wants to murder her baby. Would you like to see my headshot, everybody? Rodney is clearly in control of the show. Anything else you'd like us to do for your show, Rodney? I have 25-year-old granola bars. If you like, I'll show them to you. This was me in 1978 when Sarah was born. Here I am. That's me. What do you mean? Meow TV, are you saying that abortion is not murder? It's not a leading statement. This one near me is really sad. The one down below on the corner of the screen. That's me saying, what a pathetic human race we've become. I was really quite sad that day. I did get picked on a lot, yes. I was beaten up numerous times as a child. I was never an actor, no. I have no professional training whatsoever. I look like a thug, really. Yes, Sarah's 36, I'm 54. No, I just got beaten up a lot. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm a man about the truth. Everything you ask me, I will tell you the truth. Any other questions, feel free. But regarding masturbation and porn, I have to take the fifth on that. I don't want to incriminate myself. Well, I'm not technically anybody's father. No, that's okay. Yeah, a lot of people want to hit me. I know. I've taken a lot of hits from people. I've had sucker punches to my gut. I've had facial hits. I've been pounded and plummeted because I completely believe in nonviolence. I'm totally dedicated to nonviolence, myself, personally. That's not to say I couldn't seriously injure somebody and take them out, because I'm extremely strong. But I believe in my heart that the best pathway is the nonviolent pathway. And I've learned the hard way how important that is. I wouldn't even be sitting here talking to you if I had chosen the other pathway. I would have been in Chino doing double nickel. Would have taken out a lot of people. But instead, I'm a man of my word, and I stand here in total commitment to nonviolence. Rodney, you got that. I'm glad Rodney got that. Well, this is the thing. Many women feel they don't want to be burdened with a child. Well, if it's, yeah. She has to carry the child for 9 months. And I believe in a first trimester law where we could actually offer abortions to anyone, not paid for by the government, mind you, but offer abortions that would be first trimester only, up to 12 weeks. I don't need to be tested for sperm count. I'm not planning on having any children, or at least not right now. I may freeze my genetic material for cloning in the future. But so far, it's not necessary. Well, I know, and there's a possibility that we'll find some surrogate clone child to walk around with and hold up. It's the precious bodily fluids, Mandrake. Have you ever been in a POW camp, Mandrake? Well, no, sir, I haven't. That was from the movie Dr. Strangelove. You know, I had a conversation about that today. Guest 715 said, Sarah, has Sarah ever sucked your big toe? And remember, I actually said to him today, I said, what if I hired an attorney for $500 an hour to suck my big toe? Do you think he would do it? Because attorneys seem to want $500 an hour, you know?
You did say that today.
Yeah. I said, well, I mean, not that I want my big toe sucked. I'm just, whatever. I can't even say it. It's a tongue twister. It's a toe twister. I'm sure David Letterman has frozen Ed Sullivan's juices as well. After all, he has so much sex with the interns in the Ed Sullivan room. Oh, come on, Rodney. I was saying an attorney. It could have been a female Jewish attorney or a Caucasian Goya attorney. Doesn't really matter. The point is they do it for $500 an hour.
I'm not planning on it, Kool-Aid.
So if you have an attorney that is willing to work for $500 an hour and you're holding the money up front in front of it and saying, look, I need you to suck my big toe, you think they'd do it? I'm not another David Letterman. I'm far more intelligent. My IQ is almost double his.
You're right, Sunshine.
No, I've never had a gay relationship whatsoever. I have been in a shower with other men. Yes. I used to.
At a gym.
I used to belong to World's Gym, and it was the World's Gym was the gym that Joe Gold made, right after he sold Gold's Gym. And Joe Gold was in the shower with me. I was about 17 at the time. And so, yeah, I saw Joe Gold, a former bodybuilder who created Gold's Gym, in a gym shower, showering. We both showered at the same time. So if I said I showered with anybody, it was Joe Gold. And no, nothing happened.
No, Bish.
No, Bish. We're not into that overt sex thing that you seem to get into. All right, so it was a hot story. You can say that David showered with Joe Gold back in the day. Joe Gold's no longer living, so he can't corroborate the story. But I joined World's Gym at the age of 17, and I started my bodybuilding years. After that, I kind of drifted away from bodybuilding and went back into just a more lean fitness approach. So today, I just swim 3 times a day. I no longer lift. Hey, bro, what's going on, man? I look like Joe Pescopo. I don't need to compare my abs or anything with those guys. I have highly defined flabs of steel. Well, if you'd like to argue the day of conception, but I'm not going to mince words. I'm going to say that abortion is murder. That's my position. You guys don't have to agree with me. You do whatever you want. I live next to the beach too, you know, but I'm not rich. I don't do bench pressing anymore. It's hard on the heart. Guys, don't put yourself through that. Well,
I don't think so, Fish.
I don't think, personally, I don't think that an abortion that is prevented, like the after morning pill, I don't think that's murder. No, I don't. I think that's sensible. In fact, I personally think a first trimester abortion is not murder because the child is a very simple anthropod at that point. The fetus is an anthropod. It has no cerebrum, no pain center, no psychic awareness. At 12 weeks, the baby's about this big. You were all fetuses at one time. You remember when you were this big? You're going, oh, help me, help me, help me. Don't abort me, help me, help me. You're fighting to stay alive, and some doctor comes in there and injects you, and then takes a little razor and then cuts you all up. And you hear the little fetus squeal. I hear the sound of fetuses dying. Just the mere thought of it's disgusting. We should stop abortions, but I can tell you it's still a woman's choice.
I think you two should get together. Tricep Bra and Bish. That'll be awesome.
I think Bish and Rodney have nothing in common.
Yeah, I agree there.
We can handle any chat, but it's the people that come in here from the extreme views, like Nazis, like Guest 376. We can't really possibly deal with you. So running a country is similar to dealing with the chat room. You think the President of the United States is going to stand there and allow your Nazi opinion in a press conference and just answer it?
Your siblings?
Seriously, you'll be ignored.
Okay.
Your siblings with Rodney?
No, with Bish.
Oh, you and Bish are siblings. Whoa. I wouldn't doubt he overwhelms you. He overwhelms himself. No, I will not hurt anybody. I have no hard feelings for anybody.
I completely disagree with you, Mad Dog. Completely.
Well, I think abortion is wrong, and I agree with you too, Laura.
I will have them removed from the White House, 376.
Someone's thinking of the $500 an hour offer for sucking my big toe. I'm not making an offer here. I'm saying, what if I were to ask an attorney to suck my big toe for $500 an hour? I'm just wondering what their response would be. I've yet to see a video, Rodney. There's only one Spawn girl right now, besides, you know, anybody who wants to enter the race. There can be many. I have not seen the video. Well, show it to me. Are you in post-production on it? And most of you don't realize, but you can run a separate campaign in favor of me or against me without my knowledge and spend millions, if not billions of dollars. Isn't that amazing? The Supreme Court ruling, Citizens United, allows any one of you who's multimillionaire or multi-billionaire, I'm sure many of you are, to run a separate campaign without my knowledge, against me or for me. No, I wouldn't want that. I was just talking theoretically, metaphorically, would an attorney suck my big toe for $500 an hour? I think it's a crime that they charge $500 an hour. That was the whole point of the conversation. I think we need tort reform. I think we should need caps on settlement claims from capital, actually any malpractice case. should have a cap of $2 million. And the attorney should not be able to draw more than 20%, meaning $400,000. So the plaintiff would get $1.6 million, and also in that tort reform would be lifetime health care benefits. I'm frozen on your side? Okay. It would start when you started thinking about the wars that Obama has been creating and stop being such a ninny. Okay, I'm going to change the background a little bit, if that's okay. Bring on the background. Time to change the background. It's like the changing of the guard. This is a cool background. I haven't used this one in a long time. Okay. No, the show, we never really started tonight. We're just dedicated to peace tonight. Peace and freedom. I'm all pumped up, yeah. Sarah, you want to take a break and I'll just do the show for a while? You know? Or do you want to talk? Let me step out. I'll be right back. You have a chat, because there's a lot of chatters that want to ask you specific questions about our plans and our platform and how we want to stop war and bring our troops home. And a lot of you want a better show, and we're not delivering. So I think they just want a beautiful woman to sit and chat with them and talk politics. So let me step out, because I'm obviously killing the ratings here.
You're perfectly fine, David. You're not killing the ratings.
Right.
This is your show. This is not the Sarah show.
I don't mind. I don't mind stepping out for a while. It's
on-time show.
I'll just do other things for a while.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you can just get some coffee and come on back. All right. Anyway, so, you know, the thing I was going to talk about a little bit tonight was we talked a little bit about ISIS. I do think my hats are off to the UN for rescuing the 32 UN workers. However, there's now 40 more UN workers that need to be rescued, and anyone in Syria and Iraq need to be removed. Any UN workers need to be removed, and also anyone along the borders as well. But yeah, well, the UN workers that are there are just there to provide aid. Yet ISIS has surrounded these people. One, they're selling women, and then they're surrounding. They're capturing people.
Let's do slow
but
on.
Really, when I can take care of it.
That's okay. Go ahead. I got it.
When they bring in the workers like that, it's not that, oh, they know what they're getting into like a soldier, because those people that are going into the UN, they're really
Go slow on. Go ahead. All right.
The people that are going to work for the UN are really trying to create peace. How you think they should have stopped the war in Syria from the start? But now we have in a way, two wars going on in Syria. We have ISIS, who wants to take over both Syria and Iraq and spread out through the entire Middle East and become a huge Islamic state. And then we have people who want who want Assad to step down. So there's really two different issues going on in Syria.
I think the two, Syria and Iraq, are completely separate. This ISIS blending attempt to create a caliphate.
I don't think they're that separate, because I think that I mean, right now, yes, they have different borders, but really, you're talking, I mean, when you come to ISIS, it's not separate.
Well, if you look at ISIS as as a fictitious group of terrorists, whether they're real or imaginary, you can definitely say that there is an imaginary or fictitious force trying to take over these two countries. I could say that there's an imaginary force trying to take over everyone on Earth and call it the New World Order, but you wouldn't believe it's possible. So it's when we're dealing in imaginary, fictitious groups that aren't necessarily real groups.
So you don't believe that the UN troops were surrounded and are being held hostage? You don't believe that Ken Foley was beheaded?
I do. I don't believe that Ken Foley was beheaded, but I do believe that the forces were surrounded by mercenaries. I believe these mercenaries are actually trained by CIA-led forces. I believe that these CIA-led forces are trying to create environment for war. I don't believe this is an authentic jihad. I believe it's being fabricated in the art department of the CIA, and I've said it from the beginning.
Yes.
And I believe there's an ulterior motive here behind it.
Why don't you sit down?
No, I don't want to continue. It's just that's my position. You can disagree with it, but that's my position.
I didn't actually see the beheading video because I don't want to. I'd rather not watch that. But I do understand that it was on video, and I know that there are people that say it was some kind of false flag, and it's just yeah. So there's people like 481 that say those kinds of things. I really would have to say I'm not sure about that because I mean, how do you have something to compare it to? That wouldn't be a change, Tommy, at least not in Canada. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch it, and I'd rather not watch it. But I do think that there's a lot of things going on in the rest of the world, and some people would say, and I would rather just not be involved in those. And so then some people say, well, then it's like I'm not paying attention to foreign policy and foreign things. But I believe that we really need to focus on U.S. issues and U.S. problems rather than fighting wars all over the world.
I'm trying to understand the roots of all these emerging conflicts, and I'm beginning to see a thread running through all of these conflicts. And that's the meddling of a propaganda machine, which is promoting a broad-scale jihad, which is not something that's real, per se. This is about as real as the Osama bin Laden attack that occurred. I mean, seriously, there was no evidence that Osama bin Laden was directly linked to the World Trade Center attack. There is no actual evidence linking him to it. Right. Yet our entire nation has been constructing 2 wars in order to end this terrible thing, and now they need another reason for another war.
Because, yes, to continue to... War makes money for people that are invested in war machine.
War covers up money
machinery.
Lost, too. War creates expanded credit, and war covers up money. The World Trade Center attack erased $2.3 trillion for the Pentagon budget. That's just an ancillary byproduct of the World Trade Center attack. $2.3 trillion has disappeared. So it's just a side note there.
Yeah, exactly. Who has the most to gain in the long run with these wars? And it's really the International Monetary Fund. It's really the people who are investing in the companies that make war machinery. So those are the people who have really the long-term economic benefits of all of these wars. Yeah, I tend to believe that war isn't good. For some people that are making money off of war, they think that war is good. I don't think so. I would rather us only send in humanitarian aid. Then we'd have to think about how we're going to deploy that humanitarian aid, especially in lieu of instances where UN peacekeepers are being surrounded and taken hostage. Yep. If you see something you don't understand, look for the business interests involved. Exactly. There is, yeah, our country is based on kind of that idea of going after everyone everywhere. I have not seen that. I have not seen the movie The Purge. I don't think I really want to. When I hear what it's a little bit about, I mean, I don't want to watch a beheading video. I don't think I really want to watch The Purge either. Wow. I do think Iraq could benefit from a seawater pipeline, could benefit from fresh water. I do believe that idea that water creates food, which creates prosperity, and that creates peace. I don't agree with that, Tommy. Yeah, always look at a situation. I like that guess 4817 says, always look at a situation, who gains from such action taken place. Whoever gains the most from the action is usually the one who had started it. I suppose David's blimp project is coming along okay. Yeah, I don't really watch that. Not that I don't think it's a valid source of information, Sue. On some sites I go to, like the one I went to tonight, was obviously not a good source of information, but I think that site, LiveLeak, is an okay source of information, but some of it I just would rather not watch. David is feeding the fish. He'll be back shortly. I don't think he's upset. I mean, I was talking about ISIS, and David was talking about how it's, what was he saying? Like he believes it's some kind of propaganda to get us into a wartime situation. Well, I don't think. Building 7, they say, some people said pull it, and I don't know if this is actually the case. Probably isn't, but what if there are already explosives inside certain buildings, so that in the case of an emergency event, they can collapse a building so that it doesn't come down on other buildings. Probably doesn't work that way, but that's my theory. They do that now, you say? So there are existing buildings that you know of, one I know for 8, that have explosives hidden in them already, ready to be demolished before while they are occupied. I tend to agree with that shebang. The best, it's best to only use money on ISIS when we absolutely have to. Okay. Not right now. Rodney can call in when David gets back. Why would anyone do that? Hide explosives in buildings? ISIS stands for Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. So and they say they're shortening it to just Islamic State, and that some people call it a caliphate, which a caliph is like a ruler of a country that's basically ruled by religion, specifically the Muslim religion. Yeah, and I do not believe in Sharia law. Sharia law is awful because women do not have any rights. And even though I'm somewhat of a traditional woman, I do believe that women should have rights. So that's my main reason for not believing in Sharia law. Oh, really, Tommy? Thank you, Bad Dog. I'm not sure exactly how to go about doing that, Luca. Is it possible to do it quickly and efficiently? I don't necessarily think it is. I think it's best if we withdraw all U.S. and UN and from that area. Yes, true, 4513. I have watched women's tennis in the past and I have enjoyed that. But I haven't watched women's tennis for a number of years, so I don't know I haven't followed it for probably about 5 years, but I do enjoy watching it. Yeah, I have heard something like that, 989, that it's those parts of England have definitely become overwhelmed by the Muslim population. I think you're pretty close, 3120. I think that equation is pretty close. Four, 5, 2, what? Okay. Yes, you're right, Tommy. It's kind of crazy. Okay, David Nation. No problem. Have fun. I'm sure your regular life is much more entertaining. So that's fine with me. Okay, I was just checking out. So if you guys have been following Ferguson, there was a big protest march in Ferguson, Missouri today. They're wanting, of course, justice for the Mike Brown shooting. If you can figure out who exactly the leaders are and where they are, I think they're very mobile, Luca. That's why I usually don't have mods. I'm going to go slow off. I am doing pretty well, 756. Oh. No, 452. No, thank you. You just like people thinking police don't profile? Yes, I think that profiling does happen. So the Army psychiatrist who killed 13 people at Fort Hood wrote a letter to the leader of ISIS asking to become a citizen of the Islamic State. I think that's really ridiculous. He wrote it in the last few weeks. Of course, he's in jail right now, and they check all of his mail. It's like, why? He's been sentenced to death by a military court for his rampage because he claims he did it because he didn't want to deploy to Afghanistan to fight other Muslims. No, Rodney, I'm sure there are some out there. No, thank you, Luca. True. I wonder what was CNN's The Hunt. I don't know what that was, but a man that was featured on The Hunt. Oh, with John Walsh. Okay, so a man that is believed to have killed his family and more than a year ago, they found his remains. It's not clear how long he's been there. Okay. I don't think that's relevant to politics, 452. Yes. Okay. Oh my goodness, there's so much. Anyway, David will be here very shortly, of course. Yeah, that's not happening. I don't know what you're talking about, Rodney. No, we just went to go feed the fish. I know he's much more exciting person on the show than I am. Okay, breaking news, from the Pentagon. The U.S. has conducted airstrikes on ISIS targets and airdropped humanitarian aid to residents of Amirali, Iraq. So Amirali, Iraq is a town that is being surrounded by ISIS, and the U.S. dropped humanitarian aid, and they conducted coordinated airstrikes on ISIS targets. Yes. The Pentagon said today.
Right. Exactly.
Just now, breaking.
Yeah, and this has been long in the coming. I recommended this 2 months ago. So it's amazing how my predictions are now all coming true.
Yeah, you were great. I mean, they should listen to you earlier.
Yeah.
I should listen to you too.
This is the thing. The fact that ISIS has got its roots in very suspicious areas, I can't validate or verify exactly who trained these people. I can't tell you whether the rebel troops were there 2 months or 2 years because I haven't been there. But I can tell you there are websites across the internet that are discussing how there are training grounds for the ISIS forces in Jordan. I'm not the only one who's seen that. So we have to assume that our government's been secretly working through these avenues. We know that they funded rebel troops in Libya. We know that. You're laughing? It's obvious. CBS News reported it, Rodney.
Where did ISIS come from anyway? I think it came from the tribal towns within Syria and Iraq. Or,
exactly. Thank you,
as David said, it's kind of ironic that ISIS became so strong after the Bo Bergdahl trade.
I know. The Bergdahl trade.
Is kind of coincidental or more?
5 known terrorists that had killed thousands of our men.
And you know, I was just reading while you were gone, is that Nidal Hassan, you know, the guy who shot Fort Hood, he wrote a letter within the last 2 weeks of the head of ISIS and said he wants to be a citizen.
Of the ISIS formed state?
Of the Islamic State.
You know, that guy was a radical jihadist from the get-go, and we allowed him to be in the military. We allowed him to wear his garb, his religious garb around. And then he of course is going to say this. Kiss her, Dave. We'll be kissing on camera someday for all of you to see. But right now, someone who was at this local festival last night could have taken a picture of us kissing. There was that one cameo moment where we kissed in the middle of that song. I wonder if anyone was watching.
Oh, sorry, I kissed you in public.
Oh, that's okay.
It'll never happen again.
No, I didn't mind. I noticed that there was not a single person there with a camera taking your picture. I know. It was a great song too. We listened to this group called the Beatniks, and they're at thebeatniks.com, and they've got a fantastic lineup of cover songs from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Yeah. No, I'm not famous. No, you're right. Yeah, you can't do any kind of a physical contact there in public. I'm not sure what Guest 989 is saying other than nonsense.
He's saying that anyone would rather listen to you than to listen to Alex Jones.
It's a compliment. Thank you so much, 989. Appreciate it. I was reading your chat trying to understand the context of what you're saying. Yeah, we want to take our head out of the gutter here and talk about how we can stop war and bring our troops home. Because, you know, there's a lot of troops that are coming back right now very depressed, Sarah. And I didn't want to bring up all the deaths that have been going on, the suicides, but Robin Williams isn't the only former military officer. Was Robin Williams in the Army at one time? I think he played an Army guy in Good Morning Vietnam. I think that was Robin Williams. Yeah, a lot of people in the military are killing themselves, and this is really a serious situation that's not getting any better. The death toll is great, and we all know that war brings this whole thing into focus. This is a picture of coffins of men that died protecting cities like Fallujah, who died at the hands of the terrorists that Barack Obama just revealed, just released. Dude, our interest is being protected, but you have no idea who the enemy is at this point. A lot of you have been deceived to believe that there is some jihad going on around the world constantly, and that we somehow have to constantly fund it with troops to stop it. Well, a lot of this is misleading disinformation that's being pushed about the American people with little or no verification. The photo was taken right around the end of the Bush administration by a Seattle PI photographer who literally lost her job when this picture was taken. Well, you can claim it's the truth, but it's really misleading disinformation. Our interests are drugs and oil worldwide. That's it. Look that one up. I know 481. I'm not the one disputing this. I got to carry a lot of people along here who don't understand that oil and money and drugs and trafficking and black water money, or the actual money that organizations like Blackwater gets, is funneled through various secret channels. There's the case of why did Barack Obama abandon Iraq? We could talk about that. Many people say, well, Maliki was the one that turned down his offer. Well, it was Barack Obama's contingency that Maliki drop all charges related to human life, death in the country of Iraq. Yeah, it was Barack Obama who said if Maliki didn't drop charges against all U.S. personnel for illegally killing innocent people, that we would pull out, leaving the vacuum of power that's currently in Iraq. You see, Barack Obama is really good at creating vacuums of power. He did it in Ukraine. He did it in Libya. He's done it in Iraq. He's done it all over the place. Even in Afghanistan, Hamid Karzai asked simply could you please leave? Instead, Barack Obama gave him $7 million to hush up. You see, we don't even understand what we're doing in this area, so it doesn't surprise me that we've got this incoherency among the American people. I am different than Barack Obama, completely different. I'm not puppet number 2, not puppet number 59. I'm completely disattached from the government establishment and the corporate establishment. I don't play corporate politics, and I will not succumb to their manipulation. I don't snort cocaine. Barack got elected. He didn't get elected, he got selected. No, it's nothing of the nature. I was outside working in the garden. I noticed that one of my watering reservoirs was down, so I had to fill it up. So I took the hose out and I poured all this beautiful water into this reservoir, which will then feed the little onions that I've got growing underneath the soaker hose. That's what I did. Yes, start by growing your own veggies. I know. And live within or below your means. It's actually a cesspool of lies and corruption, Aristotle. I agree. Good point. Well put. Could I keep that in my rap lyric? They don't understand the U.S. being the beacon of truth and justice. It's a elaborate mass media farce. And that's exactly a cesspool of lies and corruption. Yo. Dave, do you have a good recipe for hot dog relish? I do. Yeah. I really do. But I can't give it to you because it's a family heirloom recipe from Romania. I believe I might have to take a patent out on it or something. It's so good.
Okay, I'm going to show this video file.
Okay.
Or not video, but this is a picture of Ukraine. And they're talking about how Ukraine is divided. This map, make sure I show the map. This map shows the dark red is where Ukrainian is like the light yellow color is spoken, but it's talking about language, and the dark red is where Russian is mainly spoken.
Okay. Oh,
so,
okay. Dark red is Russian?
Yeah. Dark red is Russian,
wow.
And the light red is the lighter color is.
So if Russia were to take over the orange area, or the area most orange or slightly darker red.
The super dark red and the red. There are, in the super dark red, 75% or more have Russian as a native language. In the red, it's 25 to 74% is Russian as a native language.
Mm-hmm.
In the orange, it's 5 to 24% as Russian, and then the lightest one is less than 5%.
Right, and that's bordering Romania and Poland, the area that doesn't speak Russian.
Right. Okay.
Rodney's
now,
sleeping right now. this election, you're doing some good education.
And, this is how it turned out in the 2010 presidential elections.
Oh, that's true.
Where they were either could vote for Timoshenko or Yanukovych.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And this shows
so
the election.
So they're obviously divided.
Divided based on the election
right
itself.
there.
Look at that. Yeah.
I mean.
Let me get right in the chat room. I want to write something here. How much is that monkey in the window? How much is that dog? That hot dog cart? How much is the hot dog cart? Investment capital. Okay. How much is the hot dog cart? Anybody know how much a hot dog cart costs? Somebody said you can make $60,000 a year selling hot dogs, slinging hot dogs during the day for 4 hours a day.
And then,
you bought it used for $2,000. Really? Well, there we go. I start the blackface hot dog stand here in town, and I could start working it.
And this is the last picture is of the pipelines. The red is a natural gas going into the Ukraine,
right.
And then the blue goes out into different countries within the UK, Romania, Hungary, Slovakia, Poland.
Wow, everybody's reliant on Ukraine. It's a very centralized economy. It was one of the largest economies of the Soviet bloc countries. Wouldn't that be funny? I mean, to create the blackface hot dog stand?
Yeah.
I know. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, thank you, Sarah, for educating us on the Ukrainian region. It's always good to have
a little bit of education.
Yeah, Sarah's going to take a quick break, but I'm going to look back at that. But there is no comedy show, Graybeard. The only comedy is you're unable to realize the need for a third party and get behind some of our ideas. That's the only comedy.
Here, I'll take that.
That's okay. Thank you. This map looks like a Scottish Terrier. I'm back in the show. I'm bigger than ever. And I'm getting better by the minute. I'm inflating. My ego is inflating as I sit here. You can watch it just grow. Somebody said I have a really large ego. And I never thought of myself as a really egomaniacal person. I'm just an arrogant SOB. But hey, people confuse arrogant SOB with egomania. David has, no, this is not something that I think we should talk about in the chat room, 555. Please focus on political chat and specifically issues about keeping war from happening. I knew I'd get Rodney off on that one. He's just ready to go. So Sarah brought up some really good maps here from the CIA News. I mean the CNN News. Nobody's queefing. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, this is interesting. So this is a good map for us to look at here. So that's where the oil pipelines are coming in. See, I want all of you to learn something today because obviously the war that Barack Obama's handlers want him to create is something that you might be involved in. You guys can't see that over at our live site, but our Hangout. I'll get my ass kicked doing something like that? Do it? Really? You're calling me out, huh? So if I was that crazy old bastard, if I was out there selling my hot dogs in the open public with a license and a full permit, okay. You know, I used to sell hot dogs at the age of 7 years old. It was my job. I built a hot dog stand, and I saved every last penny of it for my education. At 7 years old, I saved for my education fund. Can you believe it? I sold like 50 hot dogs out in front of my house. I had a little bun warmer and a little hot. It was actually a double boiler with hot water in it. I kept the hot dogs nice and hot, and I had lemonade too. And I brought in like $3.50 a day every weekend, and in like a little bit of time, I saved about $100. Sounds really gay, but I really did do that at the age of 7 years old. So I might just consider that. I mean, 60 grand, 4 hours a day, that's not a bad deal. Well, the disgusting public is everybody, you know. We're all disgustingly public. Well, back then, you didn't need a license as a 7-year-old to sell hot dogs and lemonade in front of your house while they polluted lead, gasoline, air everywhere. Everywhere in Los Angeles was like lead-laden. David, it's so homo. God, you guys are so homophobic, it's terrible. And here I'm a heterosexual, and you're like calling me gay. It's so funny. No, I'm not a male prostitute. That's what you're asking me. Never been a male prostitute in my life. You want to know who was a male prostitute in history? This is kind of a side note that you may not know. Well, no, not. Don't be nice. Awesome Carl. Hey, it's me, Awesome Carl. No, it's not. Okay, here we go. Right. Rodney. Let's get a picture of the guy who was a male prostitute before he started his career. Can anybody guess? Rick Larson. David Soul is a good question. Good answer. I don't think David Soul was. I'm trying to get a photo of this person. All right, here we go. Okay, this is a picture of the guy we know to be Clark Gable. This is a very old picture, but Clark Gable, believe it or not, this is Clark Gable. And you know, I don't have the best teeth. You know that, right? Well, he was a male prostitute in Hollywood. I know. And then guess what? Guess what happened with him? You're probably unaware that this is the imminent. Now I'm going to somebody's blog. This is not what I wanted. You know who Clark Gable is? Come on. Let's be clear. View image. Well, come on. Need a bigger image. This is getting confusing. That's bigger. That's Clark Gable with his fake teeth. Now back then I think they used wood or something. But you can tell his whole career took off after those infamous days of being a nobody. Sarah's not crying at all. But that's Clark Gable with his fake teeth. Well, he was great with the ladies. Oh, yeah. Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. That was Clark Gable, one of the greatest film actors in history. Well, thanks for coming into Film Appreciation Night at America's Third Party. I'm not getting my teeth fixed when I get into the White House. I'm getting my teeth fixed, like, within a month or two. I'll have all new choppers for my next big video, Broken St. Obama's 2. Blackface 2. I couldn't do an impersonation. Yeah, all new choppers. Well, at least my uppers will be. Sarah's, sure, she has plans, but she's not going to be in that show. Good night, Sunstar. No, you no love me long time, please. I no needy love you long time. I don't have a big need for other women in my life, but thank you. We're all good. We all have good teeth. We're working on improving our teeth and our smile. I was never busted shoplifting. That's a lie. The gaming show was great. Sarah played a video called, or a video game called Skyrim. It's a really fun game where she actually met a dragon. Had a conversation with a dragon. It was amazing. All right, get a new joke, right? Okay, let's get back to what really matters, because obviously, you know, where I'm going right now is probably where this guy, Clark Gable, went. Once he became that icon of American Hollywood imagery. Yeah. But I'm not a male prostitute, unlike him. Okay, back to natural gas pipelines in the Ukraine. Any other questions? No, sky rimming is not how gay people join the Mile High Club. That's you being funny in the chat room. Did you get a few laughs? Well, he was an American of a Caucasian background. Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the land of Hallelujah. Sounds legit. Thank you. She was talking to a dragon today. It was amazing. Autism much? You want to Skyrim with Sarah? Well, that's nice. Rodney, you're intense. I think having not had a girlfriend in how many years now since your mom kicked you out of your apartment? Since you were 20? Yeah, so it's tough, I know. You know, you can't exactly develop a meaningful relationship with a prostitute. We're not into heroin, Captain Howdy, unlike you. Thanks, though. You know, heroin's gotten really cheap, and that kind of brings up an important point. Barack Obama's plan to support heroin and poppy growers all over the world, especially in Afghanistan. Obama's got a couple plans. He supports amnesty. He supports amnesty and letting people come into our country, you know. You have a girlfriend? Cool. Excellent. Congratulations. It's the Barack Obama amnesty program. Oh, here's Joan Rivers without makeup. Of course, right now she's not doing too well, but this was a former picture of her before her plastic face surgery. And is it a shame that all that surgery will go for nothing? I mean, I'm not itching. Let's take a look at all the illegals that Obama is letting into our country. Here's an example of a group of men that just 4 months ago, Barack Obama sent 35,000 illegal alien prisoners into the streets of America. And not one of you is concerned or gives a hoot. Isn't that funny? If it's not happening to you and they're not, you know, taking you down and mugging you and gang-banging your family, you don't really care about it. Isn't that interesting? You won't even get behind a party that wants to end this madness. Okay, maybe I should just spend the whole show raking on you, whoever you are. Is that one way to do it? I did get beat up in school, quite a bit. I'm always the guy that they picked on because I'm so big and intimidating. I know. Well, no wonder, yeah. Well, I'm just telling you the truth. I was beaten up as a kid. I was told at a young age that it takes a better man to not fight back. My father was a war hero in World War II and ended up killing about 100 men or so. And I guess he felt guilty about killing all those men, so he didn't want his kid to grow up hurting people. So he trained me to be nonviolent, pretty much. I remember when I was, I think, 6 years old, I had a scuffle with my cousin in which I bashed him in the face. There's a second cousin. And ever since then, he gave me this lesson, David, it's better not to fight back. He knew that I had the capability of hurting anybody around me. So. Well, I probably would have taken a lot of, yeah, it wouldn't have been pretty. You see, in my bloodline, I come from Vikings. You've all heard the adage, raping and pillaging. Well, I'm not a rapist, and I'm not a pillager. But I've got that Viking blood in me where you mess with me, and you're messing with the best. It's kind of like Tony Montana. You mess with me, you're going to mess with the best, okay? Okay. You know? Okay, so. Say hello to my little friend. I would have, you know, the thing is, it's in my bloodline. I can't hide the fact that I descended from the Vikings. I mean, I'm a 6'4" monolith of a human being. When people see me, they go, whoa. I am the great white hope in this life. Just deal with it, 507. Wrap your head around it. Well, Captain Howdy, let's just put it this way. I mean, African Americans are jealous of Norwegian men, if you know what I mean. Wow, that kind of looks like a fruit. I'm not going to allow anyone to deprecate this show or make it seem like meaningless garbage. So please, don't give me voiceovers that involve imitating homosexual men. Thank you. There's almost only one of David, if it wasn't for David Letterman. All right, well, I don't want to talk about the physical prowess of Viking Norwegian men or how big we are in any capacity, any one particular body organ. I'd rather, hey, it's me, Constant Carl. I would rather talk about other things. I don't know why Awesome Carl pops in there at the moment's notice, but I take my directions from the person running our show here. I've never been in a Roman orgy. A guy walked up to me one day and said, "Did I have sex with you at the Vulcan steam bath in San Diego?" And I'm going, no, we never met. "I could have sworn I did." And I'm going, yeah. I am a bit like Steve McQueen. Thank you. Yeah, so I don't really know why you guys want to divert attention from war other than the fact that it's like hell. I mean, war. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing, right? Oh, that just turned me on. It's totally redundant coming in here saying we're well endowed. David's so endowed, it's almost too generous that God gave him legs. It's true. David's tripod Sponheim is here to talk to you guys. Let's stop talking about my manhood and focus on our nation's terrible foreign policy, all right? Thank you. I don't, believe me, DT Laura, I don't walk up to men and go, "Say, sweetie, how are you?" Hey, by the way, my new video is going to feature a homosexual impersonation of a Democrat. I'm going to be releasing it on David John Sponheim's YouTube site. It's going to be it's a retro video. I made it in 2008. And I'm going to be making another one just like it, making fun of the Democrats some more. I don't watch porn like that. Thank you. My other persona? I have another persona? Well, let's be clear. Neil Harris. No, he's nothing like me. How are you going to fix this country, Dave? Okay, let's start with this country. We're going to focus on Ukraine's primary control from the north. We're going to allow the Ukraine economy to. Oh, you mean our country? I'm sorry, I thought you meant Ukraine. Sorry, let me get rid of that picture. Back to America. What I want to do, Bish, what's going on? Are you not getting enough attention? Did I leave you alone there, flapping around, wondering, is it my turn? I'm ready for you. David, you have mental health insurance? Glenn's room. No, I don't need mental health insurance. Oh, health insurance, sorry. I don't need health insurance. Phone call. Hey, I'm not into talking to Bish right now. Is this Bish?
Goodbye.
No, I missed your call. I answered with a 1, Rodney. You didn't want to pick up. He's trying to get on the phone. You have a lot of fans here, Bish, and I understand you're well loved here. So don't feel like anyone's ignoring you. Let's just do something fun, you know, because talking about Ukrainian politics, obviously Ukraine is going to fall into the hands of Russia. Are you on? Hey.
Discount.
Yeah, you're on. Go ahead. You think Ukraine is going to get taken over by Russia in the next couple of days here?
No, that's ridiculous.
Really?
Anyways, yeah. I got some real problems with the show lately, man. Sarah's energy is way off.
Sarah, this is what you're thinking. Go ahead.
All right, new co-host via satellite dish. The new Spawn-On girl becomes the new co-host of the Rodney Show. I think you guys work well together. You'll be able to hold down the fort.
We could do this on another channel.
Get out of the rating shitter here, man, because you're like in 8th place earlier. You're behind like a couple black guys and a retard.
I don't have a, dude. I don't have. I told you I have no personal gain here. I don't care where I am in the lineup. I don't do these shows looking for ratings. You do, and you're not in charge of this show. And frankly, if you'd like to produce another show, I've got another channel at Golan we could develop. If you'd like to do an earlier cast where Bish could do this at the crap channel, CRP. It's called.
That's just not nice, Dave. That's me.
Well, it's Cool Rock Party. It's called CRP. It's the Cool Rock Party channel. I don't need to do this here because we take this show seriously.
You listen to me. Bish is a tremendous talent. If you don't get her off the street, somebody else will.
Look it, man.
That's all.
I'm not interested either, Bish. And trust me, if he's been pitching you on some sort of a show that he's producing, don't listen to him. Because he's trying to lure you into some sort of a weird triangular relationship. Don't trust the guy, Bish. All right, thank you. Well, I have a channel called CRP. I call it the crap channel. But he does sound kind of retarded on the phone, I agree. Yeah, it's kind of strange. I don't know. He seems to think he's producing the show even though he's not. He wants to lure Bish into doing videos online with me. Bish has the ability to go online with us. We could do Skype to Skype right now, but she's never really pushed herself in this direction. Well, I'm advocating for my own show. I have a show right now called CRP, Cool Rock Party. And you're producing the show 303? No, not the Do Not Resuscitate channel. I'm not trying to cyber. No, I'm just saying I don't think we could have a relevant political chat, Rodney, if we were on this chat talking about, you know, sex, for instance. Well, some are crazy fans, yeah, but that's okay. We accepted that. Okay, thanks, Tricepra. The thing is, I'm not trying. Bish is notorious, apparently, in your mind. I've never met Bish. I was on every Thursday, Bish. We do a show every day, 3 hours a day. What's your problem? All right, dude. Dude, go ahead. Talk. What's your next point?
You hung up on me again. You just keep
I never hung up on you, dude. You hung up on me. That might have been the NSA or the CIA or somebody.
Here's what I'm trying to pitch you today.
Sure, go ahead.
Is part of the whole new demographic in America.
Absolutely.
She's part of that, you know, frumpy white chick that's into black guys, has the potential of having litters of children, no job, all government dime. So I think if you can get a piece of that action, it kind of
a piece of that action. I already appeal to those voters. Look at people like Awesome Carl, who's on disability for his mental retardation.
Right. So you got the retard vote. Now I'm saying go after the, you know, whatever you want to deem fish type people. Let's call them that right now.
Okay. Well, I'm already going after another demographic of meth heads. I just had a meth head on my property. I had to escort her off. I've got people coming to my property in lieu of this incredible pull that I've got. It's almost epic, I know.
Somebody put up an ad on Craigslist saying that you were giving away free meds, so that could get you.
I don't know. We've got meth heads coming around, and I have to escort them off the property because I explained to them the laser beams do hurt when you get near them. Yeah. Anyway, the man on the phone is a retard. A retard? Are you retired there? Not. I don't think he's retired. He's not retired yet. But the gypsy woman from Borat is retired.
Seriously, let's try to be in the middle here. Why don't you
Sure.
put Bish Club for a segment? We'll see how it goes.
Okay, let's get on. Bish, go ahead and you want to get on Skype, Bish? How do you want to do this? Is Rodney your handler? Is Rodney your agent?
She's a tremendous. No. I'm just a big fan.
I did get beat up a lot. Yeah. Okay, good. Cool. I can take a punch better than anybody, I'm telling you. You could hit me for a couple hours and I'll still be smiling. I can take all kinds of pain. I fixed up my hair. I'm all set for the show. It sounds like when Kissinger coached Nixon on campaign strategy. Yeah. Mr. President.
All right, man, get Bish on the phone. Quit pussyfooting around over there.
I don't think I can. I don't think Bish and I know how to Skype together. So I've never met Bish. I've never been on her show. I have no idea what you're dealing with here. So I have no idea. If you're pre-screening this in your mind, it's some sort of fantasy that you're playing out in your subconscious. It's not going to happen. I mean, literally, I can't cater to the basest of urges here. I mean, yes, politics can be sexy, but he hung up, yeah. But I don't want to push sex on a show where we're talking about war. I mean, I've got solutions to war. I've got a food aid solution that would be fantastic, for instance, that would provide immediate relief in serious situations like in Darfur. This food drop idea is something I came up with in 2008, which would give immediate relief without having to dedicate troops or boots on the ground. Do you think you're sexy? Really? Well, not necessarily oil profits, but helping people in need. Whatever happened to strategic grain reserves? I'm not putting Bish on Skype. I don't even know if I'm not even on Skype. You want me to get on Skype? Let's see if you want to join me up. Well, I'll make the first move here. Well, let's be clear. We'll open up Skype. Well, I've something nice like maybe Jack in the Box or McDonald's, you know. No, I don't want to stick butt plugs in cattle. I was saying there's an alternative to having them flatulate in the atmosphere. Well, I'm going on Skype. I'm right now on Skype, folks. If anyone wants to join me, go to Cool Rock Party. And by the way, we have another channel called CRP that we do our gaming show on during the day. If you want to, you know, you could get into our gaming show. But if anyone wants to join me there, they can. They are amusing, aren't they? Not. No, MSP. I'm wasting a lot of time here. We need to solve the world's problems, and I'm surrounded by people who just want to talk about sex. Okay, we're waiting for callers. Anyone who calls in on Skype will be heard on our system. You can ask the question 756. I release you. Please release me. Let me ask a question. Go ahead. They think you're gay. Why would they think I'm gay? Judge a book by the cover, huh? I see. I'm not gay. Never have had any gay relations or sex. It's disgusting. Okay, your 21-year-old niece died to a drunk driver on August 31st, 2000. What will you change about the laws on drunk drivers? Are you ready for this? Here we go. Breathalyzers in every bar and free alcohol deliveries. Built into the price of liquor. I answered your question. That's the best I can do for you. If we deliver alcohol to people, they're less likely to get in the car and drive, especially when they're messed up. Bars are dangerous. Yeah, we shouldn't allow anybody to drive who has a breathalyzer reading above 0.08. Yep. And yes, free taxi service. Right. Well, that's just my solution. I know. I resisted the stalking of Rock Hudson as he was walking by me 6 weeks before he died. I mean, you know who Rock Hudson is, don't you? Does anybody know? Surely you know who The Rock is. Yeah, this guy walked by me toward the end of his life, and he was like walking up to me and like eyeing me and looking at me. It was like really weird. And his boyfriend, the guy that got all his palimony money, actually was standing right next to him. It's the disease. It's like predatoritis or something. They get this concept where they think they can own everybody and have everybody as a sex partner. You know, it's like a mental illness. It's like Bish coming in the room wanting to do a threesome with me. It's like not going to happen. No, I didn't say all gay men are predators. But this guy really seemed like a predator to me. Rock Hudson. Rock out like crazy. All right, man. Well, that's the point. I mean, you get to the point where you think you can own or do anybody. And you guys have this false sense of reality if you think that that's the world you're living in. It's getting very disturbing, and it's sexual harassment is what it is. And I don't want sexual harassment at all for any of you. Guess 9617, you seem like you're talking from experience. A lot of you want to have more excitement in your life and lubrication. All right, well, apparently Bish doesn't want to call in and talk person to person, so. Well, Rock Hudson couldn't buy me even if he had AIDS. Some of you really want to be gosh, I've never seen such sexual tension in my life in a chat room. That's all you want to talk about is sex. You don't want to talk about ending war. Amazing. We are horny. Well, it was ignorance, but sexual tension oftentimes hides ignorance. Anybody can watch porn. It takes intelligence to actually do it. World peace is impossible, David. Captain Howdy, with people like you in the world, you're right. You are absolutely right. You're going to make it impossible. Yeah, see, Rodney, you can't even get, you have no control in this situation. You're not the producer. You can't even get Bish to call in. Please keep the conversation elevated above animal fetish sex. Thanks. And don't talk about golden showers or any weird stuff like that. Kinky. I don't need kinky today. I control you, and Sarah, you're out of your mind. You're gone, dude. The only reason why we're allowing your calls in is because you're a constant pest. I know. It's like I don't talk about that stuff on our show. David, our government has so disempowered us that we are reduced to talking about trivialities. You can fix that, David. I can. Well, you said a mouthful there, buddy. The last thing you want is some superficial, trivial person to talk about politics. But you got me instead. I never had sexual relations with that woman, Monica Lewinsky. I know, this hunger is making my sex talk more interesting. Well, let's keep it on the up and up. See, even that excites you. Let's keep it on the down low. See that? Even that excites you. Let's talk about the Tea Party. Even that excites you. Whatever happened to the Tea Party? Does it exist? You are so beautiful to me. We even have a phone you can call in on. Operator standing by. You are so beautiful to me. Hey, what's happening, man?
Yeah, did you get those shades so you don't take a load in the eye, or what the hell's going on there?
What?
Hello?
Dude, you've been watching way too much porn. There's something wrong with you. How many hours a day do you watch of porn? I mean, just offhand, about 2 to 3 or 5, or seriously? Have you ever measured how much porn you watch?
Not even more per day. Not even
like
more.
12 hours a day of constant. You have it playing in the background when you're shaving in the morning. You have that ability, you know. It's a free country.
That's a good idea, man. I should do that on my iPad. You got anything you recommend I should watch? Or?
No, I'm not into porn. You have 1 hour each day you do abnormal? Okay. Spoogheim getting ready for what? God, guess 303. Those glasses really do remind us of that.
Take us through Labor Day on the Sponheim property there. You guys have any family barbecue and saw Connie and her biker boyfriend coming over.
Biker boyfriend? No. Where do you ever hear about a biker boyfriend? This is weird.
Don't you worry, man. She was riding the sidecar.
No, I don't even know what you're talking about, man. Is your humor as dead as I think it is? Have you lost your edge? Because you're really reaching deep here, and you're not coming up with one joke. Are you suffering from Robin Williamitis? I mean, you ought to stay ahead of the comedy store. You get more laughs just looking the way you do.
I'm just saying, yeah, man. I haven't even started with jokes yet.
I'm still waiting for the jokes. I want to talk about politics. It used to talk about politics. Thank you, Luca. Let's talk about the war in well, you name it. Syria, Ukraine, Iraq. Which war do you want to talk about? Thank you, MSB. You're recording the show? I hope you are. We are, too.
According to you, it's your show. So.
You're darn tootin' it's my show. It's a great comedy show, too. iPod is getting confused by the fact that Clang Douglas is also a borderline psychopath and had a webcam. What? That's a little esoteric, 989. Yeah, I'm against Japanese whalers, and I'm against people that say that the sperm whales need to be devastated and taken out. I actually had an oceanography professor that said sperm whales are in abundance and they need to be eaten. Are you on, Rodney?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was ridiculous. This guy, oceanography, he killed my desire for oceanography. He had a PhD at UCLA, and he was telling me about how there's so many sperm whales that they should just slaughter all of them. Topper Dan, I think Robin Williams may have been killed. It's very suspicious.
That's a little bit extreme, Dave. I think there's no necessary balance to all life on this planet. Say to kill them all, I mean, who's this guy?
He was an expert testimony. He actually was an expert witness for the Japanese whaling industry. He was totally sold out. The guy would do whatever he was, an academic whore.
You know, you're not crazy about the Japanese whaling fleet. Let me take it one step further. I'm not crazy about the Japanese in general.
Well, my father fought them in the war. I have not seen the movie Ocean Apocalypse by Jeremy Jackson. I want to see that. Thanks, Guest 610. Yeah, my father fought Japanese in the war, and I'd like to put that in the past. We've got another problem now. It's called Fukushima, leaching into our personal life.
Yeah, they were making either ear necklaces. They were pretty popular in Vietnam, but did they have them in World War II?
You know, he never talked about the war. He didn't want to brag or talk about ear necklaces. My father was a good man, and he didn't really want to be a killer for the government, but he was a killer for the government. And
sounds like he was, man. Sounds like he was a pretty proficient murderer.
Well, he killed 100 men. I know for a fact he killed 100 men. So
right.
I don't know anything beyond that. He didn't talk about it. It was like that was a different part of his life, and he only discussed the war occasionally with me. And I spent long times with my father. Did you know your dad real well, Rodney?
Oh, absolutely.
Did you get to know him pretty well in your life?
Absolutely.
And you knew what he did throughout his whole life? You knew the whole thing? Because my dad was a little bit more secretive. Yeah, I didn't hear a lot of the secret things that went on in World War II. He was involved in a lot of situations that he didn't want to talk about. They were really bad situations. So a lot of people don't walk around bragging about that stuff.
You think he knocked up any broads over there? Did you have any siblings you don't know about?
I don't think so, but I can tell you that he did have a girlfriend in the Marianas. So he talked to me a little bit about the girlfriend he had in the Marianas, but I never really got into the details, her name or anything.
I think it'd be sweet. I'm going to do a little research, see if there's some sawed-off flat-eye running around with the last name Spawn High.
No, it's not likely, dude. You're wasting your time. Yeah, near the Marianas Trench, exactly, but slightly above, about 36,000 feet above the trench. They were on an island together. Okay, any questions about politics? We got numerous wars brewing. I know you got a lot of things in your mind, but we can talk about politics, Rodney. It's okay. Feel free.
Yeah, let's cut the bullshit, man. Let's get down to it. How quickly do you think the next false flag will unfold? Clearly, we're amping up some sort of
right.
event. Is it like refer to them?
Yeah, I believe October is a possible. I think October is my timetable on that. They're facing an economic crunch, and they can't cover up the massive debt that they're expanding out every single day. So I think once the probably G20 meeting in Moron, Wyoming that just happened is probably the precursor of something that's coming. I would say October would be a good guess time on a false flag operation.
So you're saying you're nailing it down in October. You're not saying between now and October. I just want to be clear.
Yeah, I'm looking at October primarily because, number one, you want to get people in their most vulnerable time. And obviously, the school year is starting for a lot of families, and they're going to be tired and very worn out. And you have to turn on the news and listen to some horrible thing that happens somewhere in the world. It's going to be difficult for them. They'll really be, pretty taken down. I mean, we have an antiseptic war going on, let's face it. Whatever goes on over there has not affected the American people. So until it actually happens here, and I'm not one of those people that believes that World Trade Center attack was 100% an attack from unknown terrorists. There may be a lot more to that story. But if we have something like that again, it would be the precursor of another war, for sure. I hope it doesn't happen, but it could happen in October. I feel weird about October. It's just a personal, it's a personal feeling. I do. It's penciled in, and I hope it's not intercepted or interrupted by a false flag operation or a genuine terrorist strike. I mean, I live under a flight path. There's no telling. I could be taken out at any time with just some idiot flying, a Top Gun idiot flying an F-18 into my house. So don't be surprised if I just vaporize one day and that'll be the end of our show. It's pretty serious. I'm fortified, but you never know. I mean, if we're hit directly by a plane that's haphazardly flown, they're using our area, a populated area of 50,000 people, as a training exercise area for young Top Gun flyers from Pensacola, Florida, who come out here thinking they know everything about an F-18. Bring it on. I've got people calling all the time.
Didn't you used to do a little Top Gun instructing in your younger years?
No, I've had no military experience. I'm not a member of the military-industrial complex. I've never worked for a corporation related to the military, so I don't really have any connections at all. I did represent.
Into your gaming show there, where you demonstrated your piloting skills. You looked like an Asian trying to drive on a freeway in the rain. Okay, it was a total abortion.
We love that show, and don't diss it, please. Show some respect. That's.
Do a demo for everybody of how you can use your controller there, shifting around like you're epileptic.
It's pretty funny. We are getting into the game. That's a tough game. I pretty much could handle the controls of an F-18 or an F-22 Raptor because I played the video game. But I would never, ever do that.
You'd be able to fly one, no problem.
You're kidding, Highbury. I know. I'm not a member of the CIA. Yeah, I think based on the fact that I'm really good at the Xbox 360 game, Assault Horizon, the Ace Combat series, yeah, I think I could fly an F-22.
Video with David Spawnbart on YouTube.
We know all about your stupid video. It's no big deal, man. I'm recording my own videos and I'm uploading them to the CRP channel. They're uploaded at Cool Rock Party's YouTube site. I've got a Hangout going right to my David John Sponheim YouTube site, and it shows the game. So you're recording this, and it's like I could care less. I'm pushing this.
The highlight of the video are where you're like talking to yourself or talking to other people in your squadron.
Yeah.
Don't exist.
I know. I think it's funny as hell.
You're throwing around aviation terms. I mean, it's like watching like a 10-year-old retard.
Yeah, you're really very complimentary. I appreciate it. What's the rotate speed on F-16 Zoom Death or whatever it's called? Rotate speed is 125 knots, south to southwest, depending on the trajectory and the telemetry. All right, and next question. Go ahead. Look it, man, I have a gaming show because I can relate to people, and I think a lot of people enjoy video games. I'm a person people can relate to, period. I don't do meth like some people in the room. I'm not a coke addict like other people on the phone. I don't do crack like your president, Barack Obama. So I'm not like everybody, but I can relate to a lot of you. And video games, like Luca loves video games. Video games really are the thing of the future. No question about it.
Okay, next question.
Sure.
You referenced a couple other with other offensive characters.
Oh yeah.
Break that down real quick. Throw 3x5 down.
I'll give you a real heads up. This is a slam against the Democrats. And I will be doing a real hardcore slam parody against the Democrats and what they did to me in this election. It's coming out. I'm going to be releasing it in probably a couple weeks. But I've got one video that I edited from video footage I took in 2008, 6 years ago, that it's perfectly relevant today.
The generality that you're going to try to portray in the tape is that all Democrats are fruits, right?
Close to it, yeah. Fruits, closeted jihadists, Muslims. I'm accusing them of being morons who don't understand the importance of fuel and the price of gas and the importance of drilling.
Right.
I'm also accusing them of attacking the farm, basically giving farmers money to grow things without growing things. I attack the farm subsidies in this video. It's a 1.5-minute video that I'm going to release very shortly. I think I made a copy of it. Let me see if I can play it from here, from the hard drive. If I can find it.
Okay, so we got blackface, we got your queer Democratic character. What else you got?
No, I've got the Doomsday character, this guy.
Okay.
Robert Oppenheimer.
You ever thought about doing a Bish character?
A Bish character? No.
Correct.
Let's listen in.
I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
That was Robert Oppenheimer, by the way. He touched me. He touched me. He actually, when I was a baby in my mom's womb, he touched my mom's belly, and I moved. Mr. Nuclear Bomb. Yeah, that was Robert Oppenheimer. He did not want to produce the nuclear bomb. Yahweh. Totally. My mom worked for an organization that had a lot of nuclear physicists around her. She was the only woman working there. Are you listening, Rodney?
Okay. Yeah, I'm listening, man. It's great work. Keep it going.
All right. Well, my mom, and I'm eventually going to show pictures of my mom. She was an amazingly attractive woman. Anyway, she was the only woman working there, and Robert Oppenheimer visited these nuclear scientists that were working at United Space Technologies at the time. And he walked up and said, "So, has your baby moved? And I'd like to touch your baby." And his hands were on my mother's stomach, and I moved. And I said, "What the hell are you doing?" Oh, sorry.
Great bit, man. That was good. Did you write that today, or when did you come up with that one?
It's called live entertainment, you idiot. You can't think of that stuff. I do this on the fly. I don't even have to pre-script this or pre-visualize it. I'm 100% pure creative. Epic dinner table.
I got another question here. Somebody just sent me. Do you have any teasers on the Sarah Hart 2015 calendar?
There won't be any calendar. We found out that somebody was laminating the calendars and using them as wallpaper. So we won't be doing any more calendars.
I laminate them so they're dishwasher safe. You know what I mean? I can just, after I soil them, just run through real quick.
Well, I find that very offensive, and there's no way we're going to do another calendar. You're 200% gay. I don't know why you keep saying that.
I was going through them like crazy, man, and then I had this epiphany one day. I was like, why don't I laminate them each individual month? That way, you know, shit can get wild, and it's got a zero consequence with it. You know what I mean, Dave?
Yeah, not. Yes, not. I don't. Yes, I don't understand you. You're breaking up, Rodney. You are. You are breaking up. You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension of both sight and sound, of both things and ideas. You've just crossed over into a wondrous land of both that of the imagination and that of Rodney's mind. The mind of a person who thinks they're producing our show by calling in, not realizing that I'm the master in charge, that I control the horizontal and the vertical. It's not just a show, it's the next dimension of modern entertainment. You're trying to interrupt me, and I don't like that. You're breaking up my twilight zone. This is turning into the toilet zone. Okay, what's your next question? Go ahead.
Okay, so when is the new Sarah calendar coming
I told you we're not going to do the calendar. I told you that. It's unnecessary. You have enough visual, modest wear to look at without exciting yourself any more than you're already at. You don't need to take it up any higher than you are. Thank you.
Make another one? Did it not sell well last year or what?
I don't track the sales. You ordered it, Bish. It should be arriving.
You know how many were purchased.
I don't care. I am not into money. I'm telling you that. I am not into money. I don't have any clue as to what you're talking about. You're the money guy, Mr. Man. Bish, David did not scam anybody.
Available online. You don't know how many were sold.
Sarah is in charge of that. That's her little trip.
Well, wait her to have something. I want answers, goddammit.
You don't need answers. You got me. We don't close out the show until another 15 more minutes. All of you who are in the area, I want you to stop Larson, save nature, and write my name in. David Sponheim for U.S. House. Don't worry. Anybody can call in.
I'm going to hit the bond for you right now, okay, brother?
All right. Have a good one and enjoy. What kind of marijuana are you smoking right now? Thanks, Tucker.
Oh, man. It just got...
Yeah, go ahead. What kind of marijuana are you smoking? Sativa, indica, hashish? What are you smoking? Sounded pretty interesting.
Say, sativa.
Sativa, dude. Yeah, totally, whatever, dude.
Yeah, it's real dank, man. I gotta keep it charred up or else it stinks up the whole joint.
I heard it, dude. Hey, man, I think you're probably gonna overreact to the marijuana, and we're gonna be drifting shortly, talking about your whatever, you know. So if you start to lose track of what's happening, I'll keep you posted. Earth to Rodney, Earth to Rodney. So we need to end war, everybody. That's what we need to do. And the only way to do that is to get the two-party system out of the way. Go ahead, man. We were listening to a guy get high right now on a marijuana, what do you call it, a bong?
Yeah, it's about, I don't know, it's probably like a 3-footer glass.
Okay, dude, you actually bought a 3-foot glass bong? You seriously expect the world to believe that you're sitting there with a 3-foot glass bong? Man, he really is getting high here. Okay, well, how about that? I did not vote for Dennis Kucinich. He's the guy that passed Obamacare. I would never vote for that guy. Dude, that is like karma. I think he's gagging now. Rodney, could you leave your address online so we could call 911 in case there's a problem with your bond?
Oh, Sarah has all the pertinent information. She's my contact person, so.
Stoner on the phone talking to Dave. I'm going to the sadist vote. Those who like to be hated on. Wow. I don't know sadists like to be hated on. That's a new one. Are you talking about the saddest vote? Or the sadist vote? Okay, you guys, a lot of you have smoked marijuana, I can tell, and some of you ladies, I recommend not smoking it. It could...
I had Sarah earlier, she kind of blew me off. She got a little uncomfortable, started blushing. But just see any photos of the lovely fish that he's born on, girl.
I have not seen anything of Bish. I've never seen Bish online. I'm a kind of a newbie when it comes to all these people you bring into my show. I've never been to their chat room.
Should I just take the pictures, man? Let me send some nice glamour shots over there for you.
I could definitely harness the masochist vote according to Guest 989. Some masochists must like people like me. Super confident and ready to do what's necessary to bring you pleasure. You'll be nicer next time. Well, listen, Rodney, you've been really a downer on the show. You've dropped my ratings significantly. When's the show start, Rodney? Or should I say, when's the show start, Dave?
Look, you're in second place, for Christ's sake. You were circling the fucking grade before I called.
I appreciate your help here, man, because I don't know how to do it without you. I really need more ratings. I can't control. I made a show. This show's been on for 6 years. You. Ugh.
Bitch, quit being a cock tease and call up a discount. You need to hook up already.
Yeah, listen.
Put out pasture here soon, and we're going to need to just spawn on girl.
Rodney, will you be my co-host? This is not a proposal here. This is Rodney. Will you be my co-host of the Vaughn Live CRP show, the crap show? Will you?
I'd consider it. I'm going to need some more details about what my commitment would be. And,
no commitment. No, that's the nice thing about everything we do here. It's no commitment. It's strictly based on volunteerism. For now.
Yeah, that's dynamite.
He would consider it for now. Wow. So we got a positive positive maybe from the Rodney about getting into the CRP show.
Right.
Well, this could be a big thing because I plan on broadcasting 24/7 on these networks and having all my cameras activated around my house and go live with my 17 camera assembly. I've got 17 IP cameras ready to go. And you can track me from bathroom to living room into the shower, and we're going to go live 24/7 real-time live casting with Rodney. Now, I'm not rich. I'm wealthy, but rich is a stretch.
Let's you put pen to paper on that offer, and we'll figure something out.
We're not going to do anything. Your offer's rescinded. Later.
Okay, no problem. Good luck launching another channel then.
All right. Thanks a lot for your help. You've been a real winner. You've been a real winner there, buddy. Yeah, you need to negotiate with other people like Howard Stern or somebody. Maybe somebody who can help you. Okay, legalize marijuana. Yeah, that would help. Hybrid solutions for America. And end war. All on the same page. Wow. Isn't it amazing? Now, notice how when he hits the bong, he just gets he's already uncreative, but to see him do that, it's like brain drain. It's unreal. I'm just glad that I've got myself here to keep myself company. Whew. Okay, we established we're going to end war. We're going to bring our troops home. We're going to do something that'll help. Yeah, we established what we're going to do in Ukraine. Nothing. I wouldn't doubt that Putin's already invading secretly, sending troops in, preparing to control the whole Ukrainian situation. And then they're acting, Russia's acting like they're just partying, they're vacationing. Thousands of troops are vacationing in Ukraine. That's what Russia's, I believe their official response was.
I know.
I've never scammed anybody here. That's an outright lie. She is back as a French woman. I believe that feminism was used as a way of getting more women to work, as a way to bring out the women in the family to work with the man, to extend the working schedule of the American people. If you have make love at 4 o'clock, like the French do, you would not have this problem. I don't believe Bish ever ordered a calendar, but Sarah will check the calendar list to make sure that everybody put their order in. Well, I don't have a naval base in Ukraine, and I'm not worried about Ukraine. We have no long-term interest in Ukraine. But of course, you would like my best Frenchie laugh? The French fighter pilot laugh. We don't know.
No.
We haven't. Have you even checked the money that's gone in that account?
No.
Sarah doesn't even know how much money she made there.
I just put it out because I said I would.
Well, that's nice. So we're just going to sit in here and admire your chat tonight and see how wonderful you are, and give you good, feel-good feelings toward the end of the show. Because if we can't make love, then we would obviously end up making war, wouldn't we? So let's make love, not war. Okay? So let's do a little feel-good, huggy session and just sing songs of Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Or maybe they were singing Bye Bye Miss American Pie.
That was nice.
Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. Anyway, pretty heavy stuff, man. I was there, man. I was there in the 60s. I was young enough to remember. You'd like to see what? No, I'm making big improvements. My hybrid is going to have a brand new battery pack. I ordered a brand new one with 30% more energy. Dude, thanks for coming into our anti-war rally, everybody. This has been really cool. No, that's Rodney. You're getting ridiculous.
I think that's what you want to do, Rodney.
Yeah, you're more likely the culprit there, Rodney. Okay, so we have a lot of things we could do to make our country stronger and better. And what a better time than to create a discussion about the blimp plane and our national defenses.
No, I'm sorry, Rodney.
In 1946, this was a proposed plan in the U.S. Air Force or U.S. Army to create the blimp plane. And we haven't seen any real solutions until now. And thanks to the amazing development and detailed artwork done by myself, I bring you the amazing blimp plane of tomorrow. Introducing the future form of transportation for all people on this planet. Using the ailing infrastructure of old 747s, we're going to turn our entire nation into an energy-efficient nation, saving billions of dollars on energy in air travel.
It's Lulu Press, correct, Bish.
So you guys are happy about these great ideas and want to promote America's third party, you came to the right place. This is our daily show, which we have every day except Sunday, because we take a day off for rest. Well, I'd like to talk about how it takes off, but I haven't worked out the logistics in my wind tunnel. You could think of a vertical takeoff like a Harrier jump jet. It's a great idea, 4744. And it's the future of air travel when energy costs get to be $10 a gallon. It's the best idea ever, and you'll see it'll be really great. We'll try one out on one plane. I'm not going to waste your tax dollars on this. We're going to use renewable energy savings bonds to finance this. How high will those fly? They'll fly at 7,000 to 10,000 feet. They'll go 300 miles per hour. Their outer body will be comprised of Kevlar and hydrophobic material on the outside to prevent any kind of friction. So it'll be virtually frictionless free flight. I'm not high. You're high, Rodney. We just heard you load a bong of sativa and start mumbling your words. Yes, it will float. It will have 4 parachutes located on all 4 points to prevent it from actually crashing. And you will be able to guarantee, 100% guarantee, no crash in this plane. It'll take 10 hours to go from Los Angeles to New York, and the cost per seat will be $100. Yes. Isn't that wonderful? This is the last time I'll probably fly. Oh, another call from Anonymous.
Yes, go ahead, Captain Howdy. I'm interested.
What's your problem now? Nobody's slandering anybody. You just took a bong load, man. You did it online. It's true.
Hello.
You just took a bong load. Thank you.
Hey, I'm not going to be slandered by a couple of hippie
Nobody's slandering you, man.
weirdos like you and Tara.
We're not hippies. We just like singing songs like Kumbaya, my lord, Kumbaya, oh, Lord.
Man, how are you going to land this abortion or even take off?
Oh, come on.
You want to try to explain.
Why don't you just deal with the reality that this is a fantastic idea and you can't even keep up? This is a plane that could easily land at low speed, 60 miles an hour. I mean, it could come down to a slow descension. I'll duplicate the landing on my Assault Horizon 3D gaming system. I'll show you how I'll land it. Anyway, I don't want to go there right now. Why don't you just realize, just put this in your mental piggy bank.
Engine thrust that are naturally there on a 747, or will those be deactivated or removed?
We will be using togglers, engine control togglers.
Yeah, she got it.
And you didn't get a shipment?
So what if the plane were to become dislodged during travel? Then what's the deal? You're just going to coast her in?
Thanks for saying that. I'll take a look at that. Thanks. What is the question again, please?
What happens if the blimp portion becomes dislodged?
It won't be. Even if it is, the plane can still fly on its jets. We're going to keep those active with limiters on it. It'll be able to fly at 300 miles per hour as a jet.
David's showing you his idea.
So you're still going to have the overhead of maintaining the integrity of those
turbines.
Forward.
Yeah. There's always going to be overhead with a plane. There's always constant update.
Yeah, but how do you figure this is going to be feasible economically with all the overhead and
overhead you're talking about? Frankly, I've met the people at Boeing who actually do the X-rays of the infrastructure of the 747s, and frankly, I could hire any number of bull-dyke lesbians who happen to handle a radiation gun for $15 an hour. I mean,
okay.
You know, I don't need to worry about how many people are going to be doing a $15 an hour job. It's no big deal. No, 777. You need to actually get the hell out of this show. So. Yeah, you know, the problem you're facing is you're in a land of wonderment. You don't know anything about what I'm talking about, and you're trying to accuse me of the same. It's not working. Oh my God, it's the end of the show. All right, let's stop talking here.
My apologies again.
That's very cool.
Sarah, watch your step. You're on thin ice. Fish is going to be the new cook.
Fantastic.
Yeah, this is all BS. He's talking through his orifice again.
I thought, yeah.
It will hold your Amazon purchases? No, it's not like a drone or anything. Yes, 300 miles per hour. It'll be greased down with a hydrophobic material. Thank you, Luca. It's not funny. It's real. It's real funny. So the thing is, it's going to fly through the air with the greatest of ease. It'll be faster than a locomotive. It'll be like Superman in the sky.
Thank you for watching over at our Hangout. I'm going to stop that for now.
Thanks, Hangout people. You get to watch our recorded shows of me talking to a chat room.